Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 8R Stars Cup Battle of Region Edition, brought to you by 8R Organization. My name is Crowns, and today I am going to be joined by none other but man like Priest. It's going to be Priest Cast. Priest, how are you feeling about today?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. South Asia, so I've been enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Hopefully we'll see some more action. Today.
De- Definitely, a lot of action is packed up for us in this tournament. We've seen the playoffs already go through. We are currently in the regional finals, where we've already played the couple of the games or most of the games, and today we're going to be playing the final five matches to determine who the top three that is going to make it to the finals would be. I said earlier, six teams would be making it in general, but three out of those teams would be invited, and the top three from this finals would be going all the way to the grand finals of the tournament. And to be honest, Priest, we did see a whole lot. Nobody prepared me for what I was about to see from these teams yesterday. Because to be honest, it wasn't just all about Sealy Sports, who is number one on the board. We saw other teams like Undergang Esport, and to be honest, Raw Esports Mongolia actually showing us a lot of their talent yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. And from first day, I did get a little feel of the potentially strong team. So this table is not too far fetched.
Mhm.
Seal, Rome, Mongolia, but Honor Gang did surprise me yesterday. They came out swinging. Dead Eyes guys as well. Even the guys from Raw Nepal, I am super impressed. CMF a little too low for me. I've seen them do better than that as well. But it's not too late to step it up. Crowns, do you think we're gonna see more of the same today as well? Because look at these MVPs, man. Look at these MVPs, man.
I mean, from what we said, from what I projected yesterday, which kind of happened, I already did see that some of these teams were going to go for the defensive strat in terms of leaderboard ways, and then going into the final day, I would expect some of them to go all out. We did see a whole lot of these teams show us what they were made of, and some of those players, majority from Sealy Sports, showing and proving themselves. Today, we're going to be doing the same map rotation, and to be honest, I got to put this out there, Priest. I said this yesterday that I was happy Sanhok was in the middle, but I don't know. Going into today and seeing how yesterday was, I'm not so. I would prefer Sanhok to be the last game
To
of the
be
day today.
last, yes, yes. I knew you were going to say this because after I watched yesterday's matches, I knew you would come to the conclusion that Soundlock would be better put in last. Why? Because of the chaos it would bring. It would probably
Mm,
you would probably not ever pause. You would not. There would be so much
mhm.
action going on. But ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms. It is 8R Organization Esports on YouTube. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Do not miss any of the action. And if you haven't downloaded MetaGoogle, now is your chance. For Android and iOS, just head over to METAGOOGOL.TECH, METAGOOGOL.TECH.
Yeah, and to be honest, I was talking yesterday and I realized that there was a little bit of an update that has come through on that Meta Google app. So be sure to go grab that update and be sure to also download the application there. But Priest, I'm just going to piggyback back on that points that we were making as to Sandhawk. It kind of felt like everybody forgot what we were here for. And that is not what I intended because going into yesterday, I was very excited, saying that I like the fact that there's Sandhawk in the middle of all of these games. Sandhawk coming in the middle is going to allow teams play a little more confidently than they normally would do on a normal ground because starting the first two games of yesterday, we saw them play very passively. And then I was like, definitely they needed that Sandhawk reset. And Sandhawk came through. Everybody went out all guns blazing. I thought now that we're going back into the map of Miramar, I thought everybody was going to be calmer now. We know how aggressive we can be. We're feeling confident. Let's mix that with the strategy. But that was definitely not what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't what we saw yesterday. But I think more we would see more action, coming in today. I believe there's going to be a chance for a spoiler. I think there's someone that's going to ruin, the game for someone else. But again, we're looking out now to see who is going to rise to the occasion today. I mean, we've seen, the overall rankings. We know who's on top. We know that Seal is the team to beat. But can they be beaten? Can Raw, Mongolia step up? Can CMF step up? Can anyone, snatch it away? It is not too far. It is just 20 points, and that's a wrap. So who, can turn things around today? Because I'm expecting an upset, and I think you should be expecting one as well.
I mean, when we start to talk about upset, I think where what I'm really expecting the most, or I'll be expecting upsets coming through from the bottom or from the teams that find themselves quite on the bottom of the leaderboard. And I say this because that competition on the top is actually so much that I don't think anyone would want to risk having to, go for a little bit of a contention or try to spoil another person's game. There's only and go from second place, third place, to the amount of 2 points to separate them from second and third. And it's all crazy. But speaking of crazy, we're gonna get into the game already. Fabulous, for I did see them yesterday for the first game of the day. After that, they did not really show their faces anymore, and right now they do look to find themselves in a little bit of maybe not no longer a little bit in a huge pinch here, down to just Sogesi to hold down the fort for them.
Fortunate scenes for Sogesi here. Have to fight through a lot of bodies to see if he can muster some points from this engagement, but it's not looking very likely, as High Voltage will be looking for an opening themselves. An interesting position for them to play out here, but the DBS unfortunately will not come through, and High Voltage will be losing yet another player. Star gets knocked away, and CMF starting to look for an opening of their own. They've got one knocked player just by the corner there, looking like an opportunity for them to get themselves the first blood elimination going forwards.
And this was something that we saw from CMF yesterday, starting to fall off a little bit in terms of the hot drops. We did see a lot of it happen yesterday, and I wasn't really expecting to see them today, but I think we already established that yesterday that when it comes to hot drop, it's almost inevitable. And right now, ZCGSN, the team that I've been wanting to stand up since yesterday, already going out first again in the lobby. And I did say that name that they're holding on to, it's such a big name, GSM, and I would have expected more from them. And I'm pretty sure that they will be going back, doing the VOD reviews after this tournament, and be sure to polish up some of their strats.
Not not gonna lie at all. When you when I saw their name for the first time, and I saw GSM there, Crowns, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was something else. I thought it was something else, because I know another team that has that name, but I don't know, I didn't know if it was them, and I was thinking of another entire different organization. It was an entire organization. But then I just remembered something else that there is a South Asia, and then there's Southeast
East Asia.
Asia. So it can easily get misconstrued. But then most of these teams, actually, I have seen how capable they can be, and I've seen TMT doing. Oh, Sammy got locked out there. Surely he will be finished. MS will not use that. They will not let that one slide away at all. 3 eliminations to them, looking like they will have to deal with the guys from Zivit sooner rather than later. They are having to circle back the corners there, but Seal as well, not giving too much away. Already up 2 eliminations. It looks like Seal will not be letting that lead slip away from them.
Yeah, to be honest, they cannot afford to really. They can only mess up one game so far today as we go. Right, only one game, but right now they do have to have swallowed. They've swallowed the 2-piece nade, giving the players there from stronger esports on that time to push up. And I'd really like to see that prowess come through from them. We did see City Sport handle 2 teams simultaneously yesterday. So going into today's game, we're looking to see a little bit of a repeat of that anyway. But here comes the push now. DBS always reigning supreme there as CD Sports get themselves one player down back. Burrito, a very strong player yesterday. We saw how well he could hold up. currently being the one to hold down the fort for the team, and indeed, its defense is going to be enough as Sealy Sports survive this one yet again with all four players alive.
Sealing the deal once more. Their points just continue to increase by the minute. But again, it looks like they might be getting to some more engagements there against the guys from Raw. A couple of bodies have dropped on that side, but Reflex is looking for a corner just to breach in, and the Seal will be eliminated relatively very early, but they did put some points on the board, so that will keep them afloat for the time being. Exhibit still looking for an opening themselves. They've got one player knocked away. Hopefully the reset will come through. Fury just hanging on by the corner there, trying to find an opening for himself, but made a shot. Tries to pull through again. An opportunity with the Bison, tries to connect through. Unfortunately, his bullets are not working out. The DBS, you can hear it raining out. But that Bison will come out on top. Another one Bison does. 2 down, 1 left. Ichigo will be the last one left for TMT. Exhibit, they're trying to hold on, but he might decide to play from the backside. Wiper trying to wipe them out, but unfortunately he just can't get the angles quite right. Grenade inside might do the trick this time, but meter shot hanging on by a thread. Jump shot by Wiper again. He's trying to close the gap, but unfortunately he just cannot breach the box in. Tara might use this opportunity again. Oh, DBS. DBS crowns every time.
Every single time. And the drop shot there from Takara finds one of the players there, goes for the instant thirst. And the players there from middle shot definitely have to grab at least one revive. But that is your teammate, bro. They need to grab at least one revive. And it does look like that they're going for the full send. The drop shot is not going to be enough as the S68 shots them and silences them. And now there were 2 teams out here. Zivit definitely realizes they've been looking at that elimination feed. Those that is just the 1 player alive, looking for that final thirst. As we can already see that push coming in through with the pump action. Ichigo just wants to salvage any points that he can get. 2 points that he's going to get from eliminations. And we're down to just 1 player there for Meter Shot. And to be honest, Meter Shot, a team that is going to be on that chase for the top 3. Definitely not how they want to start this game. 58 points that they have for the time being. They have 4 more games to grab themselves a lot of points up on board, provided Funk goes out early in this game.
It's going to take a lot for Funk to make something happen here, but they do have 7 eliminations, so that's not necessarily the worst start. You know, they are putting some significant points on there, but they're still a mile away from doing any kind of damage into that top 5. They will have to rise to the occasion time and time again. Like you said, couple of matches left. There's still a lot of work to do. Ichigo charges the grenade. Oh, that's not, well, that's a smoke grenade. So that might be a little bit of a warning there to change his position, change his direction, hops outside, again, switches to the S686. It's a danger. Jump shot, tries the first one. A reload. Fantastic stuff from Funk. Beautiful.
8 elimination, 2 apiece for each of the players. They're looking good. Right now, 8 points would go a long way. Now they just have to back it up with a placement. We did not actually see hot drops out there in Severny yesterday, but going into today's games, it does look like Severny would be one of those hot drops, and I'm not too surprised seeing that the teams that actually did land in Severny were teams that found themselves in a hot drop yesterday. So they all decided to go for that Severny spot that was empty, and it actually did turn out that there was every other team was thinking about the same thing. So that is 3 teams going all out there, and there we've lost close to half of the lobby now, as we're down to just 11 players left, 11 teams left in the lobby.
Yeah, 11 teams. That's still a lot of bodies. 36 players. They will still try to salvage something here. As you can see, did they change the entire team? Damn, they must be cooking. INM must be cooking, bro, if they're changing the entire team.
Yeah, given the opportunity to register up to 8 players, I like that. But however, I would not really love to see that. I know Rafi did play yesterday, so I'm guessing that's the IGL of the squad. So we've seen Rafi coming through with 3 more players, but I would prefer you go on with the team that already has the feel of the tournament. I kind of already knows what is going on in the tournament, as compared to bringing an entire new roster, trying to now figure things out. But who knows? Maybe it's just them trying to get those players, get the experience. Currently 12th place on the leaderboard, 36 points for Inimical. I don't really think they can, get that top three spot anymore. So I think they've got that also in mind, just trying to gather as much experience for their players as much as possible.
Yeah, I feel that's more of the same. Put some fresh legs out there, let them get a feel of what's going on. Put some notches under their belt, have a little bit of experience. Boost that Instagram profile. You know what I'm talking about, Crowns. You got to boost that
Hmm.
Instagram profile. One time global competitor or something like that. It's always sweet when you're in the market. So I mean, it goes a long way. It increases your market value. So why not? Why
Yeah,
not?
especially with where the PUBG Mobile esports is currently headed. Definitely, you need all the clouds that you can chase. But that being said, I've not really spoken about the zone all day. Zone out there was currently towards that western side, a very crucial zone for these teams, to be honest. Given that zone or the playing path was out there on the eastern side, now that play zone is on the west. I think the only thing I like about the zone is that there's a potential for an open field finish in the Gatka area of the map.
Yeah, that western side, a little bit more central, but it will take time. Ooh, okay. PX, unfortunately, getting overwhelmed and overrun there by the vehicles. I am always going to love the vehicle play. It just shows boldness and no fear. Ooh, DBS out of the vehicle. Now that would have been crazy from Cynix. Again, he tries to spray through with his car L, but that was the plan to expose his position, and Domain will close the gap. 5 eliminations for I8. They're looking pretty strong, trying to chase VS and crack into that top 10.
I pretty much saw I8 yesterday, being able to play the bait and switch game quite all right. And that is exactly what they've done again in this game, getting themselves 5 eliminations. That is definitely a good start for them. Something that they would love to see. Currently looking at the positions of the team out here in the zone. I see the players. I see that no team has really committed to Pochinki Hill, which is very surprising to see. I would really like to see teams go up to that Pochinki Hill position because it is really a strong one. So I really look forward to someone going over there for it. Other than that, I'm seeing rotations coming in through from the players there from the Vikings, coming in through from that northern side of the circle. Everyone does seem to have a little bit of an interest in the Gatka area of the map. That is something that I see from this region. Everyone loves to play from that center circle. Just a couple of teams that would prefer to play from the edges of the circle, and one of those teams would happen to be Valencia Sports. We saw them play the edge a lot yesterday, but today now they're down to just two players. They would be forced to even play later, and I think it shouldn't be too much of a problem given that that is already their initial strategy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's more of the splits that they do play coming in from the edge as well. Villain Sir, that is exactly how they've been able to hold off most of these teams from day one of the tournament. They haven't necessarily changed their strategy that much. Most of the time they will play one person in front, usually Kim Tony, or they will play him, far out and then play as three while he gathers intel, and he's also going to be fragging out. So it's always interesting to see how they play these zones most of the time. But again, I'm feeling, coming in from the west, like Ferry Pier and Quarry, a little bit southwest, that area. I think if you can play that entire domain or that entire region of the map, I think you would, if you're not going to be spread out thin, I think that is where you would draw your most of your eliminations from right now. If you can play the high ground from that southwest and western region, but most of the teams, like you said, already planning to play the center, trying to play Gatka. Gatka is not a place that you can have a lot of bodies in. So there's a lot of chaos that will brew relatively very soon. The moment the play zone makes that hard shift, there's going to be so much chaos, and we're looking forward to that because the Vikings, this position that they have, will easily be breached. If they're not trying to defend it from multiple positions.
Yeah, and which is what surprises me the most about the way players are playing today. And I did mention this yesterday that I would prefer to see, or I would expect to see, especially on the map of Erangel, everyone going for POIs. Beautiful places that you can hold and you can you can get a good game from. And one of those would be around that quarry area. Another would be Pochinki Hill in this type of zone. Pretty much anywhere you play on the west is going to gather you as much intel as you need. However, it does look like all the teams are going for that strategy of playing the center of the circle, regardless of how good the compound is, regardless of how good the spot is. They just want to play from the center of the circle, trying to secure themselves into that next circle. And as much as I understand the strategy, to me, it comes off as fear of not being in that next circle, that fear of rotation. That you're just trying to eliminate quite early in the game, and I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't say to allow that fear, impact the decisions that you're making in terms of positioning in the circle.
Exactly. The fear of rotating late. That is the biggest fear that most of these teams run into when it comes to playing the circle, especially the teams that make play very very slow, play the edges of the circle and stuff, and strategies that are along those lines. They tend to fear the play zone. They tend to fear having to get caught out on rotation. And speaking of getting caught out on rotation, we're going to see a lot of that happening right now because the play zone will force most of these teams to start to make their rotations around this time, and then they will now have to reposition every single time they hear gunshots because they don't know who's fighting who yet and
Mm-hmm.
where the potential fallout from that engagement is going to land. Most of these teams, like we said, are playing a little bit central. The play zone has shifted away from the south and now is set it up really nicely just outside of Pochinki. And that hillside of Pochinki, like you said earlier, was a prime spot to be in, coming into this phase of the circle. But phase 4, phase 5 is going to make a little bit more changes, a little bit more shifts going into how the teams want to strategically play here. But yeah, Villains are already lost two. Jamie have been knocked away. So it's a two-man team now, Kim Tony and Sakura. Now, this is a very strong duo, but now they have to play tight knit. They cannot, stretch out the way they're used to play. So hopefully, I want to see how they're
Mm-hmm.
going to play out this position. I think they do have a little bit of the zone to work with. So hopefully that might, come out into something.
Yeah, it is a very strong spot for them to hold as well because it is another POI there for the map of Erangel. As I said, I looked at this zone and I'm like, okay, there's a couple of places that I would expect full squads to hold as compared to the little passive plays that we're seeing from them. And that is exactly why we're seeing these rotational clusters because it is bound to happen, right? When you're playing in such a way that the zone moves and then you're looking for the next center circle, you're definitely going to run into teams, and this is eventually going to happen. And now we're seeing a whole lot of engagement happening from that western side of the circle up towards the center of the circle. It is not fun at all. And CMF now, a team that needs to put up good performances today, now finding themselves in a little bit of an engagement with some of the players there from Inimico. And to be honest, these players or the position that they're in right now, easily third party. Easily.
Potentials for third parties will always be the cream of the crop when it comes to engagements that like these. And you can see INM trying to rid themselves of the guys from CMF. And Curse has been raining grenades from dusk till dawn, but unfortunately his grenades have not been too accurate. He's been falling a little bit too shy. But that's a fantastic one again. But Javed will have to fall a little bit backwards there to get his angles right. As the rest of the guys from INM is still playing on the defensive. They are trying to breach that position. But CMF will not let them come through. Fantastic grenade from Glock over the top. But will not connect. Cursed is still hanging on. He's in front. They do have a three-man split, but unfortunately, they're just an opportunity for them to play four. But INM have to continue to use these utilities. Play zone is already on the move, Crowns.
I kind of like the play coming in through from INM. They've decided to be their own third party on the fight, sending one player to go for that flank. Going to distract the players there from CMF a little bit, already getting themselves that one knock, and now they can start to, fully engage onto that fight as a three-man squad. We get that zone pushing up towards the north. I8 would be able to get that smooth rotation on towards the south, continue the game on from there. It would be such a nice spot. But we're starting to see CMF throw this fight, lose this fight, because as I said, Inimiko have a very great strategy. They had that one player on the off angle. It is playing out so well for them, forcing the utils out of the players there from CMF, who are now down to just the two players to hold on to their end against the full four-man squad.
Fantastic use of the of the terrain there, CMF, knowing exactly what was required. But unfortunately, INM will come out on top, and you saw it, Crowns. You saw it before it happened. They did play that terrain perfectly, but a spray from Ajaya all the way across. And the Vikings, unfortunately, will be on the receiving end of that one. Jing Chen has been knocked away. Back into the lobby he will go. And Undergang looking very, very strong. The Shaq play will be the next choice here. Igneous, it was an MVP for a while there. And I think the strategy that they've been employing so far has been working. But unfortunately as well, they have lost 2. And so far, they've only been able to accrue 2 eliminations. UG will have to rise up to get more on the plate. I8 looking very strong out here, trying to play onto this little corner in the side, just outside of Pachinki. And Admiral will be in front, trying to hold off. But this is an interesting engagement, Crowns, because it is I8 and is also Villain. It will take a lot for them to deal with Sakura. He is very capable of dealing with them all by himself. Oh, but he's getting knocked away almost immediately by Admiral. And that is the key to playing these positions. One player with all of the intel will always do damage, Crowns.
Yeah, as I said, it's gonna be easy pickings for the side of I8. That position that they've held on Pochinki Hill, very, very strong, and they're just gonna use that to move. They're already gonna push up towards the end of the hills. They can take on the players there from Inimical PX, or sorry, from Roy Sports Mongolia that are out here in the Pochinki outskirts. And as I said, it is a strong position there from I8. I'm not too surprised that they're able to get as many eliminations as they're getting, and they're able to have so much information as to what is going on the circle. But anyway, we're looking at the players there from Dead Eyes, guys. I think I've got my eyes on them because of the fact that they need to make a comeback. Currently 5th on the leaderboard, and they need about 15 points to find themselves back in that top 3 position. So right now, all eyes are on them, at least for me, especially given the fact that CD Sports is out. It does kind of open up the space for these teams to, try to bump them out of the leaderboard.
Yeah, you're right about that one. Oh, wow. He peeked out a little bit too much for that one. But Sleepy tries to hold off with the DBS. But unfortunately, Deadeye's guys, Precious will slide right in there and close the door immediately. And now he will be left to that position for them to fill out that defensive area of that compound. Beautiful stuff coming in from Deadeye's guys. They're still back up to 4. They've got 3 eliminations. And they're looking, it looks like they're set on the right path. But my eyes are set rather on the guys from Raw. Raw Mongolia. They're looking very, very nice in this position, playing a little bit of terrain there. But I spoke too soon, because I think one of their players has been knocked away. With the reset, looks like there will be a possibility. Tony trying to get that angle covered. He does have a position to play, holding off southern side, but there will be a little bit more time for him to pop out his utilities, but he's going to be getting tagged up immediately by Arrow. And just outside of Pachinki, the violence will continue. Their Raw will be getting their first elimination. Now they will be looking for more.
I think teams need to realize on time that there is no way you can push up to the side here of I8 crew and not get taken out. I8 doesn't have the numbers advantage, or as many numbers as they would have expected. They still have 3 players, which is still good. However, it would have been better if they had a full 4-man squad on the top of those mountains. Right now, they do seem to be getting pushed by 2 teams, which is why I make that point. But anyway, I8 still on the top of the hill trying to make a play, losing HP left, right, and center, but they still trying to play that one as Raw Esports Mongolia now begin to stand up to the occasion, getting themselves 1 or 2 knocks on there. But that third party might just be coming in through. Inimical goes down again to the players there from Raw Esports Mongolia as Arrow's position very, very strong, but now it's about to start getting threatened as we're starting to see rotations coming in through from the top of the hill on the world, on the Gangi Esports, taking out the players there from I8's crew. They did have a strong showing, however, that is going to be sealing the deal now for them as they will get taken out.
Unfortunate scenes for I8. They have so much potential, coming into that position of the circle there, but unfortunately it didn't work out. Jaya gets knocked away by Javed. Beautiful spray over that backhand side again, tries to spray towards the guys from Raw Mongolia, catches a couple of shots towards Sanchir and Orbit, Unfortunately for them, they will be able to play the terrain and get a better defensive position. On the gang, down to one. It is Igneous just chilling by his buggy there, trying his best to salvage those placement points. His teammate, Ajaya, has been finally discovered and sent back into the lobby. And Sencher will be trying his best to get back up. Maxion, unfortunately, has been sent back into the lobby. And Raw will be doing the absolute best to swipe that chicken dinner. That is the only way they will get some significant points because the number of players left alive are not too many for them to, drop a 10-point elimination bomb right here. It's looking slimmer by the second, but they do have some strong numbers and dead eyes guys, like you said, Crowns. They're still north, they're still four, and they're still strong.
Very strong, to be honest. They're holding a very long split across the center of the circle, and that is coming based off of that confidence that they know that there is no teams whatsoever right behind them, so they would have to start making the moves. And Inimico looking to go for a very long rotation. I would expect that this is the rotation that is going up towards the northern side of the circle. It is a good play, but given that split that is being held by the side of Dead Eyes guys, it's not going to be a very easy rotation for them to pull off, as we already see them starting to embark on that one. Javed drives straight into the middle of the players there from Dead Eyes guys. Law finds one, finds two, and that is going to be Inimico going out easily to the players there from Dead Eyes guys. Already up to 7 eliminations. This split is just a little too strong. Nova finds one, looking for two, as Orbit does get dropped from the side by Precious.
Oh, fantastic spray coming through. Combination shots from Raw, but unfortunately, they will lose every single player from that engagement. And Undergang finally getting swept away by the play zone. And here he comes 3 versus 1. And that will be the end, ladies and gentlemen. Chicken dinner for Dead Eyes guys. And just like Crowns predicted, they were the team to watch. And watch we did. Chicken dinner and a plethora of eliminations. Now that is how you start the day.
I believe that was 20 points. I think they got up to 10 eliminations, and that is just beautiful. Exactly what they needed to push themselves back into that top 3 position. It might not be top 3 on point, but it's going to be somewhere close. And Precious definitely getting those entry knocks onto the players as they continue to push. To an extent, I'm surprised that this is not even Claw, but it is good to see another player there from Dead Eyes guys, standing up to the occasion in Precious to put in the damage. 4 eliminations, 804 damage, 1 assist with just tiny healing numbers of 184. You love to see that one coming in through from this player here, Precious. So it's a GG still, really, to the players there from Dead Eyes guys.
Yeah, it's super interesting to see, how Dead Eyes guys have turned things around. Because if you did watch from the beginning of the group stages, from the playoffs down to here, Dead Eyes guys were struggling. When I say struggling, these guys were struggling, bro. It was teams like Raw Mongolia and Seal, and I think MS that were doing magnificent, throughout. But Dead Eyes guys were struggling up until the last day before getting into the group finals. It was a final
Mm-hmm.
day they turned up, but I8 I Octopus actually did the most damage, just a
Had
little
to.
bit more than Precious there as
Yeah,
well.
it really had to happen. I had such a strong position in that game, going all the way to Pochinki Hill. As I said, the numbers advantage as well just failed them. I'm quite interested and quite interesting to see the players there from Dead Eyes guys. It has to be Claw. I did say I'm surprised to see that the MVP wasn't Claw, but I guess he didn't do as much damage. But even when he doesn't do as much damage, he's still part of the top 3, berserkers in the lobby. Dead Eyes guys getting themselves 11 eliminations with the placement points, getting themselves up to 21 points up on board. You love to see that one. Meter Star Esports able to have that player rank it up to 4th position for them, and they held up quite nicely. I did say it early. They lost a lot of players early on in the game. It was just down to see how much placement they can get. And to be honest, Fury doing that whole surviving for the team was absolutely wonderful. 12 points that they're able to get. Roy Sports Mongolia putting points up on board, and this is what I enjoy to see. Roy Sports Mongolia now, they're doing what we saw come through from Sealy Sports yesterday, putting up those little numbers just to be sure that they're keeping themselves relatively in that top 3, so they do not have to worry too much.
Yeah. Do you know I had no idea that it was Meter Shot that placed all the way up there. Do you know? I just realized. I remember when that guy when he was taking the fight, and we're talking about how he would need to place really really high. when he was the
Mm-hmm.
last solo player after getting that final confirmation. I think it was against Exhibit, if I'm not mistaken. Exhibit, the guys
Mm-hmm.
from SB in Severny, and he got the final confirmation with the UZ. And then we now started talking about, can he survive? He actually did it. He survived a lot. He survived really, really long. So big shout out to Metershaw for that one. I just saw it on the leaderboards and I was super impressed. I ain't gonna lie. But
Yeah.
Kirito is still leading the charge here. Crowns, what do you have to say about this guy? Because he has been absolutely phenomenal.
To be honest, he held on so well for the side of Sealy Sports in that engagement there in Erangel, able to get themselves a couple more eliminations up on board. Unfortunately, they had to go out early. What I'm enjoying to see is that Ajaya has found his way into this MVP rankings. Yesterday was just three of the players here on this top four were from Sealy Sports, and now seeing that Gangi Sports able to get Ajaya in here, that is wonderful stuff to see. And how well has the leaderboard moved? And we're starting to see 21 points separates Raw Esports Mongolia from Sealy Sports. And to be honest, Sealy Sports needs to keep putting up those numbers, because we just saw a team can get 21 points, and 21 points going to be boosting the side of Dead Eyes guys up to fourth position, putting them just 3 points behind second place and third place. The battle is very tight.
Yeah, 99, 99, 96. That's not too far away from Seal at all. Seal can finish this tournament in fourth place if they are not careful. Chicken dinners, they are not in charge. Raw Mongolia is still in charge of the chicken dinners. They've got 3. So that could play into someone's advantage later down the line. You never know. I've seen this. Even down to the qualifier stages, the playoffs before here, a team qualified off chicken dinners. There was a 36 points in 3 places, and the last team just didn't have chicken dinners, bro. That is why they didn't make it. That was why they didn't make it into the finals. So those chicken dinners will come in handy. They will come in handy going forward. So yeah.
Yep, definitely would come in handy. So the teams really need to start grabbing those chicken dinners. And speaking of chicken dinners, we would soon be going on to the next game. But that being said, man, we've seen a beautiful game of Erangel here. It's going to be Dead Eyes guys taking that first chicken dinner of the day. Love to see that one coming in through from them. But now we have to kiss that first Erangel goodbye and get our bodies ready for that Miramar game. The tan is what we're here for, and we'll be getting into Miramar just after this break. Do not go anywhere. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 8-hour Star Score Battle of Regions. We've seen what? I don't want to do the math, but I believe it's somewhere around 11 out of, no, 10. 11 out of 15 games done and dusted. I shouldn't have done the math there, but it still crowns out here chilling with Priest. And we've seen that first game of the day already pull through in our faces. We're getting ready for Miramar. How are you feeling about Miramar here, Priest?
Oof, Miramar. The strategy changes. The map is different. All of the teams make little tweaks to how they want to play the map. So I'm always super excited to see who adapts, who gets slightly better, who has to move a lot of things around because we did perform an entire roster change in the last game. So are we going to see more of the same? Or are we going to see something brand new? I'm super excited to see if Seal can still hold on. They're not out of the woods just yet.
21 points is what separates them from second place. And we did see Dead Eyes guys get 21 points in just this one game. So we do know that that is a gap that can be closed. And to be honest, I was going to mention this about Sealy Sports earlier on in the game that the way they've started today is almost the way Dead Eyes guys started yesterday. Dead Eyes guys yesterday starting the day, they were in second position. And we saw them trying to just get as much points to keep themselves in the top three. However, they were doing just one too little points that when it came to the last two games, they fell off of that leaderboard based off of good performances coming through from not just Raw Esports Mongolia, both Raw Esports team and also Undergang Esports. So to be honest, Seal Sports, I need you to bring up that performance that we saw yesterday. Going into out of yesterday, I was saying that going into today, they need to go all guns blazing. They had already set the foundation yesterday. They just needed to complete it today.
Exactly, and talk about setting the foundation, and I've seen teams bottle last day. We've seen this play out a lot of times, grounds, starting the day of the final day, everything your destiny is literally in your hands. It is all left to you. What are you going to do? And the pressure just starts to mount up on these teams. I mean, 6,200 USD on the line. The pressure is real, Crowns. It is very real, but you can't, you just can't let it slip away from your fingers just like that. We saw the PMGC, how things went down last year. It was very, very close. It was very, very, very pressure filled. The team that even won the PMGC didn't even know they had won up until the
Mhm.
last match, the last game of the last day. That is when they knew that they had done enough. But until that last match, CO Esports are still not out of the woods. They've got three other teams chasing them. They cannot afford to slip up. So, I'm looking to see if they can hold on a little longer. You said it yourself. They're starting today just like Dead Guys started yesterday. They cannot afford to slip away in the final lap of the finals.
Yeah, and another team that I want to point out to that has not started today, okay, is the team there from CMF. I did see that they started the game well on time. However, in that engagement that they went through with the players there from Inimical, they eventually did had to fall. And I did mention it for that fight there that happened with Inimical that this was a fight where they needed to play better, right? That was a very bad spot to be taking a fight, and I knew they were going to get third party. The only thing I just enjoyed about that fight was the fact that Inimical took that memo, knew that this is a sport that you can easily get third partied, and Inimical went, I am going to be the third party of myself, decided to send one player to go to the third party angles, and that player went over there, secured themselves some points. But enough about Erangel as we get into the sandy dunes here of Miramar, the playing path ever so, I wanted to say unforgiving, but I think we're going to take this one, Priest. How are we feeling about this playing path?
I mean, an interesting one. Most teams should be fine, except those teams that love to play a little bit of the north and the northwest. But most teams are gonna like this one. It cuts just right down the middle of Picardo, and those the teams that do love to play that Picardo position are going to have a little bit of a rough one still. But I think it plays, into how the teams want this particular playing path to favor them because I've seen teams that when the playing path is a little bit more north to south. But this is more of the same, just make it a little bit more diagonal. Azahar, Cruz, the VAR, water treatment, Hacienda, all within, touching distance. Even Puerto Parisio, I would dare say, is a little, inside of a touching distance. If you glide your umbrella or I said umbrella, if you glide your parachute well enough, if you glide your parachute well enough, I think you can touch Puerto Parisio fine. I mean, gliding parachutes is a skill, Crowns. Some players have that skill. They can glide really, really far distances.
Yeah, and I think the key to that is deploying the parachute a little too early. They used to call me a pilot back then, but yeah, it's just about deploying, and the timing at which you deploy that parachute will determine just how well you're going to land. One thing I'm enjoying, or one thing I'm liking from what I'm seeing so far, is the amount of teams that are deciding to go towards that Leonis area of the map. We do know Los Leonis is big enough to accommodate a couple teams, but right now we're having Sealy Sports in Nimico, the players there from IAT Sports also in that position. The Picado hot drop definitely no longer something we're going to be talking about. Love it. As it's going to be Roy Sports, who were victorious yesterday, remaining the only teams that are out here. There does look to be another shade of blue. That looks like there is an imposter amongst them, and indeed there is. Who that imposter is, I cannot tell you just yet. However, we do know that there is another team out there. But speaking of hot drops, we do have the battle of DMRs here, as we have the Mini 14 going up against the MK12. It's not a question of who wields it better. I think it's not going to matter because Macarius has found himself the UMP and is decided off in the hands there of of Dead Eyes guys. This is not the way Dead Eyes guys want to start this game. The rest of the players only have pistols in their possession, and right now they would have to make it work.
Ooh. It's an unfortunate turn of events there, villains, sir. Who will be the villains for Dead Eyes guy? What? Oh,
My man's used the emotes to go for a finisher. You love to see that
I
one.
mean, you can't even lie. PUBG Mobile is just too good. You wouldn't see that anywhere else in any other battle royale game. That's for sure. That was actually fun to watch. Dead Eyes guys, unfortunately, not keeping the momentum. They're down one. They're really down one right now. Hopefully, that will not deter them. Some teams, when they lose one relatively very quickly, that begins a spiral. That's a cascade of events that leads them down. And speaking of losing one, I believe Seal did lose one as well. I think it was Cephos has been sent back into the lobby. Fortunate turn of events there, but hopefully the guys from Raw will be able to get some more eliminations for themselves going forward.
I'm so surprised to see GSM out here in Picado. They were not here yesterday. Two maps of Miramar. They were not in Picado for any reason. And now on the final day, they've decided to come to Picado. It makes you question. It makes you wonder, what are they doing here? And it's very surprising. They came in as a 3-man squad. They're out here in Picado. They're getting pushed by the full-man squad there of Raw Esports, and I believe that is Raw Esports Nepal that is pushing up towards their position right now. I just cannot place my finger as to why GSM is in this position, and that is a very beautiful grenade though, coming in through from Jiggle, as that they're down to just one player to take out as Raw Esports continue to emerge king of Picado. Ooh. He almost got the first two.
Ooh. Almost. That would have changed the entire dynamic of this position, for the last. What is going on? I mean,
Dead Eyes guys.
2 players from Dead Eyes guys sent back with emotes. I mean, Crowns, it's not a coincidence. Something is going on between these two teams, and we're starting to see it. Oh, that's a nice spray from Jamie all the way across there. I have to beg his position. I beg your pardon. That would be the question there. Trying to breathe through. Sakura can hear the footsteps inside. We'll try to deal with Claw and Precious. Or can they make something happen here? It's an opportunity for PS to get some serious numbers up. And this is one of the strongest teams from the playoffs phase, guys from Villain, sir. But unfortunately, they've not been able to put that momentum. They've not been able to put their best foot forward coming into the finals. But they're not going to let this one slip away. Claw might pop a grenade over the top, and that grenade might change things there. And Precious is still by the corner, chilling. It might be getting palmed. That's a beautiful grenade.
He closed that door right on time. If that grenade had gone through that door, that would have been a different entire game. But right now, this is not the start that Dead Eyes guys really want. They're able to get themselves one knockback, and the Tommy gun enough bullets to go for two. As Precious, the MVP from the first game, doing the damage. Man, if I were to be him, I'm doing an emote. You know the emote, bro.
Yeah. There's no time for that. The violence continues. Jamie popped up a little bit too much there. Tries to pop through. Again, he tried the DBS. Couldn't do it in time. And VS will come out on top. Dead Eyes guys will have some deaths. Unfortunately, back into the lobby they will go. Eyes shot by Villain Sir. 4 eliminations to them. And all the emotes in the world couldn't keep them afloat. Raw now have the opportunity to perform. Snatch that top 4 spot away. I mean, Crowns, I see it. It can happen. You know, I see it happening.
I mean, it opens up the spot for Roy Sports. It opens up the spot for even I can go as far as saying CMF, you know, because they're like, what? Just about 20 points behind. As I said, 20 points is something, 10 eliminations and a chicken dinner, and you have gotten yourself 10 points already. But I just want to point something out. Priest, if he did an emote there, he wouldn't have gotten taken down because that is going to draw him. He's going to be in the building doing an emote, and he wouldn't have gotten knocked out. You know, do the emote. You gotta return it.
Nah, Krause, you have to be for real now. Come on now. There's no way he's doing that. The pressure is on. There's no way he's emoting. You know, his teammates got caught off guard. The opportunity for, you know, the guys from Villain Sir to pull off those emotes because there was nobody inside. But, you know, the pressure was really on there. Is even by a stroke of luck, you know, that Villain Sir didn't lose even more bodies. I mean, Kim Tony had that that Tommy gun. If it's me, I'm blasting, bro. I'm in there. I'm blasting 2 knocks, bro. I'm blasting. Nobody's surviving. That's for sure. You know, we was able to just get 1 confirmation in all of that. And somehow, you know, they couldn't just make the game a little more difficult for the guys from VS. But it's not over just yet. There's still 3 more maps to go. But hopefully the guys from Dead Eyes will rise to the occasion in those upcoming maps.
You see, left to me, based off of what happened yesterday, I want to say there's 1 more match left. Because after this Miramar, we're going into Sanhok. And yesterday we saw after Sanhok, anything that concerns strategy was tossed out of the window.
Out the window.
So if we're going to go by what happened yesterday, this is not going to be fun times. He misses the run over CMF. You can't afford. I don't think CFM or CMF actually plans to qualify because this is not how you play it.
Absolutely not. For a team in 6th place, this is not how you want to do this against the guys from High Voltage. They're known for playing this terrain. It gets very dangerous here. High Voltage have every single position to work through here. Tatara's on the back foot again, but a beautiful touch. Gets the first knock. Opportunity now presents itself for Curse. Tries to take 2 for 2. DBS again, but the DBS will suck that one away. And Star for High Voltage does a magnificent job of holding out. But here comes 90 Degree. DBS versus DBS. His DBS is superior. Gets the knock again. And now they will have to play from the back line as a knock onto another knock will change the entirety of this engagement, Crowns.
I love the proactivity from CMF there, sending a player there quickly, not wasting too much time, and they're able to get themselves the return trades. High Voltage would definitely have to play onto that wing, and to be honest, High Voltage is a team that, going yesterday, we saw that they're a team that really knows how to go for third parties. Right now, I'd say you know how to go for the third parties. Right now, you need to be able to take a full squad while they are on their, full strength as compared to when they've been dwindled down by another team. So really High Voltage, something to work on. Middle shot, having themselves in a little bit of an engagement. This time with the Inimical, 3 players down as Fury, the survivor for the last day, able to find themselves another set of eliminations. Switches to the Mini 14, not quite able to find that knock, as he's the last player left once again for the entire squad. And this grenade might be on the money a little too far as he sends it out. DBS in his hands, cannot wield it properly. And Inimical PX, I like to call them the Phoenix team, finding themselves all players there, and they will be getting themselves the eliminations. Colette.
Grenades. It's like walking into a booby trap. Tips and you get dropped away. Another DBS from 90 Degree. And they've done a magnificent job of keeping them at bay, but Electro will try his best to rush onto the scene, but Inimical will not let this one slide off. Another opportunity for them to hold off. Now will be a time for them to do something about this position, but Electro finally reconvening with 90 degrees, trying to find a position for himself as well. Switches to the M4, a little bit of a spray. Fortunately, will not catch anything just yet. Grenade over the top from 90 degree again, looking for that opening. Here comes now. The angles are getting tighter. Inimical are in serious danger. Javed just peeks out a little bit there. Will get a spray across, but unfortunately will not do too much damage. And 90 degree again starts to charge another grenade. It's a battle of grenades here. Turns it again. Electro will be the next one called out this time. Beautiful touch coming through. Inimical looking very strong. Playing on the defense. They are spread out. It's a 2-2. They might be able to hold off, but one player knocked away. 2 versus 1 now. Opportunity for 90 degree to show exactly how he plays his angles. Pops a Molotov onto the left-hand side. He might be spotted. Grenade over the top again. Bites his HP down. Oh, fantastic DBS. Javed gets knocked away. Inimical might be in danger. Molotov cocktail just outside. Just outside, and he can't breach through. His HP, he's gonna get it up, and now he will swap through. Jump shot over the top with the DBS again. Tries for the second, tries for the third, tries again, tries to pop through. 90 degrees.
I was just about to mention it. He's been so proactive in this engagement that he's been playing so well. Gets himself the entire 2-piece or maybe 3-piece onto the side there. All those players there from Inimical, and the third party really went wrong for Inimical there as they were able to get themselves the knock, but the trouble doesn't end yet. Mongolia, Roy Sports Mongolia find themselves going up against Roy Sports Nepal, and Nepal would reign supreme on this one as Roy Sports Mongolia does get sent out, and man, Roy Sports Nepal doing this to the other one. I'm saying this because 80 points, they're 99 points, or 19 points away from Roy Sports Mongolia, so that opens it up. Any amount of points that you can deny any team that is above of you definitely works. And right now, they're not getting any placement points. So if they didn't get any eliminations like they did not, right now, it just opens up that top 3 spots.
Yeah, looking very, very open right now. And it's going to be an interesting way to see how this one pans out. The pressure is on right now. Match 2. Still got 3 matches to go. And Sanhok is where it's at. Every team is going to come out guns blazing, that's for sure. But I'm looking forward to seeing if that is going to be enough for these teams to grasp a spot in that grand final. But the Vikings looking very strong here. Ragnar has gotten 3 eliminations for himself. And Jing Chen continues to spray towards Jamie again. They will have to play outside from this position. Not been able to crack through into the play zone to give a definitive angle of where they want to play. Roughly about 600 meters from the south. Again, there's a lot of bodies in this area, Crowns. It will take a lot if they are trying to move away from that position, as PX will be getting eliminated.
As I said, everyone does want to play in the center of the circle, and it does look like that is where we're having all of these troubles. And I'm looking at this current center of the circle. It's not even a great spot, you know, and this is what I was saying about Erangel, right? This is not a very great spot to play, but everyone seems to want it. You know, right now I'd expect teams to be somewhere around the Ladrilera Hills. CMF's position is a good one. You know, the El Pozo Hills is also a good one, where I really wouldn't be expecting any team to be in that center of the circle right now. I'd expect teams to just be on the outskirts trying to gather as much information as possible, but it does look like the Zivets team from TMT looking to already put in the damage. Ichigo, good for 1, switches over to the M416, it's silenced, looking for another knock, comes in through swinging from the side, finds another, swaps back to the UMP, looking for the third, but runs out of bullets and would fall. As the Vikings surviving that one with the hair on their tooth. Ragnar, to hold down the fort right now, needs to grab up 1 revive at stage 3, so they can still pull off that revive for the time being, but he needs his HP back up to normal.
There's a lot of HP being lost in that engagement, but I believe the Vikings will do just fine in getting their numbers back up. Unfortunately, Villains are still down the hillside and down to 2 players. But they are playing all the way out there in the eastern side, just outside of the play zone. The play zone has shrunk a little further, and El Pozo and Ladriela Hill are still within playing distance. High Voltage and the guys from Raw are still sitting very, very comfortably, but Stronger will be coming in from the west. And in a 2-2 split, there will be a chance for them to hold off. But Seal are still looking strong. They're down to 2. And Scooby will hop back into his vehicle to reposition and find a better spot inside of that zone for them to call home. But they are going to be taking so much damage. I believe that is I8 Octopus, the last one up for I8. Well, it's not the last one up actually, but he is in a precarious position.
Oh! What an angle from Admiral. Love it. Gets himself that first knock. And now it does look like Kirito is trying to return the deal, return the favor. But right now, if I were to be Kirito, I'm getting into the nearest vehicle and getting out of here. There really is no point fighting this one out there on the outskirts, deep within the blue zone there of Chimasera. There is really no point staying there. I'm enjoying the split I'm seeing there from Stronger Esports, holding one player on the top of El Pozo Hill, having the remaining 3 players somewhere closer to the outskirts of Monte Nuevo. Love to see that one. The teams that are right here in Monte Nuevo, find themselves in a little bit of a trouble, but outside the circle does seem to be where all the trouble is. Zincheng did get knocked again, and Ragnar, the one to survive for the team again. We saw him win the Sanhok game for them yesterday, but here comes J4ME flying through in Miramar. We do know the terrain here in Miramar is not the best, and the Molly not quite getting the spread just yet, as Ragnar just anticipating the push coming in through from the players. Chen going to be passing a whole lot of information right now. Hopefully he's able to see that player. He did crawl into the Molotov, which is very interesting. I wouldn't expect him to be crawling back for the revive there. I've expected him to be crawling to gather some more information, because that revive, we do know for one, it's definitely not coming through. And Ragnar really needs to put the C in clutch as he's pushing up towards that position. But that DBS ever shotting the pushes up as J4ME wins that one for Villancer Esports.
I don't know why he allowed his teammate to just, fall out in front of him. Unfortunate scenes for them. I did see possibility of a reset ongoing. I mean, it's phase 3 circle. You can take some damage, but it is unfortunate that is the case. Villancer will now have to survive a little bit further with just one left. Stronger Esports are looking very nice. That nice split from the western side, but Admiral here trying to deal with the last player from Seal. He can hear the footsteps. He can hear exactly where his ops are. All he has to do is deal with it. Kirito all the way onto the far end. He pops a grenade over to the right-hand side, but does not connect. Admiral is looking for that opening. Octopus as well, trying to gather some more intel. Has the AUG, tries to spray through. The moment he pops up, and that will do the trick. Can Kirito connect the grenade? Oh, that's a fantastic one. Falls a little bit short. He doesn't move a muscle just yet. Doesn't expose. But it would be ideal to pop a grenade just over the top. Ooh!
He saw that projectile. He saw that projectile moved out of time, moved just right in time, literally on time. And right now, I8's crew, they really want to take Seal Sports out. And I do not know if this is part of the upsets that we were talking about, but it does look like I8's really do not want Seal Sports running away with this one, as they're deep in the blue zone with 2 players. They could easily go in, try to survive with just the 2 players. But right now, they just want to take out this player, Kirito, and it would be a scene if Kirito is able to take both of them out. He's got a DBS in hand, so he's well equipped. Sends out a grenade towards their position, jumps out playing the terrain so well. And now he's back to the bottom floor. Slips on that one. Will eventually get taken out.
Seal they're slipping away, Crowns. You can feel it slipping away for each game that they get eliminated a little bit too early and not getting any significant points. You can feel it slipping away. Undergang are now within reach, 20 points away, and they can do something about it. And the guys from this hold on, looks like it's going to be an interesting scenario for them to hold off the grenade onto the side again. So looks like High Voltage getting overwhelmed here. There's a lot of bodies, footsteps all over the corners there. Tries to DBL, but surely he will be swept away. And he will be swept relatively very quickly. Raw now looking very strong. They're up to 9 crowns. They have entered the 90s. They are not too far away now.
They're really not far away anymore. 91 points puts them just 8 points behind on the Gang Esports. Surviving more, 101 points right now. If we're looking at it, 2 eliminations up aboard. They have a strong position up towards that north right now. I would see that. I would expect on the Gang Esports to be trying to take some jabs at the players there from Stronger Esports, because Stronger Esports have got a very strong position. And on the Gang Esports, they would really need this position if they want to make something out of this game. But they're still currently on that northern side. I8 Esport or I8 crew finding their way into the zone right now. Octopus from the southern side, they would have to be driving straight into the players there from Raw Esports Nepal.
Raw Esports Nepal looking like the strongest team in the lobby right now. They're up to 9. But if they can keep this up, we might be able to change things and put Undergang and Seal, put them on cruise. But Stronger looking very, very strong out there on that western side. Again, there will be a little shift from the play zone now into phase 5, and that will be a determinant of how the rest of these teams will go. Oh, fantastic spray from Sleepy. Puts them to sleep. 11 now crowns. The number starting to dwindle for the number of players, but they're starting to increase for Raw Esports Nepal. They're in the top 5 now, and a chicken dinner is looming.
Really is looming. We said it, those points are not too much. And just as I said, on the Gang Esports, taking the battle towards the side of Stronger Esports is the question of who is going to be the stronger team. Igneous is here for the crash, looking for the intro knock. Here's the player just right up underneath him. And he's just going to be playing those ridge lines now. Not Chinese. Just trying to ward this player off as Igneous now. Here's those footsteps. The grenade is sexy from Ajaya. That player ever proving himself as he finds that entry onto Stronger Esports. From the side, it's going to be the rest of Stronger Esports looking for a little bit of a knock as they find the trade with the grenade. And it's Tom77 to find one knock and another knock or another grenade to find the thirst there. Tom77 has been spotted. And off angle coming in through from Jimmy. Plus the player goes for the Mini 14, trying to make that count, but that is the wrong choice of weaponry for that engagement. Now Spike has to hold on to the fort, but Ajaya from the side finds the off angle. The agent moving very close. Ajaya still on here, looking very strong, looking for another, and he finds another knock. Ajaya, he's doing this for Undergang Esports, and from behind is going to be the third party. It is Raw Esports Nepal drawing in closer for the third party of the century. And on the Gang Esports, while they can heave a little bit of a sigh of relief, they cannot stay too confident because Raw Esports Nepal are just out in the outskirts, might just be taking them out.
Raw Esports clinging on for that third party to increase their numbers. Now they're up to 13, and they've not lost a single player just yet. They will have to deal with Undergang Esports sooner rather than later, but Ajaya has been absolutely fantastic in playing for the defensive line, but CMF is there as well. They will take a little bit more resources if they can play from the southern side, but now the north is looking caked up. We've got 3 teams, and we've got 9 bodies in the cut, but the guys from Raw Esports Nepal will not let this slide away. Ajaya trying to gather the intel onto the right hand side. Trust me, he wants to spray into that corner, but the play zone is not friendly right now. They will have to find somewhere inside of that zone that they can call home and take advantage and play from. But CMF might be the team that plays spoiler onto that ridge line, but they're not in the zone, so they will have to reposition. Crowns, there's so much chaos inside of this zone right now, because once the bullets start flying, CMF will use that opportunity to find a space inside the zone and possibly third party one of these teams.
I don't even see a world where Raw Esports Nepal don't win this game. They have all eyes on every of the teams that are left in the circle. Electro's position has been exposed by the smokes. An assassin there from Raw Esports Nepal definitely knows there is a player there. He's got his eyes fixated on him as he knows that is his sole target. On the Gang Esports, they have to push up to this strong four-man, and it's not just any kind of push because the players there from Roy Sports Nepal, they're holding some dirty off angles here that is going to work out so well for them. So on the Gang Esports, they need to play this one carefully as possible. Spike on the side, trying to launch those grenades towards the side of Roy Sports Nepal as Ajaya and Jimmy coming in through from behind. They still have some of their strong players alive. Spike's position definitely exposed. The grenade to follow up does chunk down the HP, and Jiggles would find
Ooh.
that knock. They do not win this fight. CMF could come in through to try to help, but that is about it. Jimmy now going to the position where he's just lost one of his players there. And I just don't see this one happening. CMF coming through to third party the players there from Undergang Esports. The blue zone is pushing up. And then Dankti Degredo with the DBS up against Jiggle cannot hold up because that momentum flowing through the blood, flowing through the brains there of Roy Sports Nepal is just a little too much. And Ajaya though, still in that blue zone trying to heal this one up. He's just waiting. Nah. Too strong.
Wrong choice of weapon again.
Just too strong. CMF, 6 eliminations and a second place. I believe that is all they will be able to do. As Roy Sports Nepal, 16 eliminations, 17 if you're counting the player on the floor in 90 degree. And it's just going to be the last player left in Electro to get taken out as Assassin. Sprays him down. The Molotov doesn't quite get the spread into the compound. It is a grenade as Electro is just looking for a little bit of a redemption for himself. Launches it behind the fence. Gets the bounce. Gets a little bit of tick damage done. But that is about it. And the Assassin on the third party coming in through from the side. The DBS finds one, but just too much in terms of numbers. And the winner chicken dinner going over to Raw Esports Nepal. And they started this one so nicely, taking out the team that won both chicken dinners in the Miramar of yesterday. And that definitely gave them the title, gave them the energy that they needed to grab themselves the winner chicken dinner out here in the first Miramar of the final day of the regional finals.
Absolutely breathtaking performance from Raw Esports Nepal. Big numbers being dropped here. I believe they got, what is that, 16 eliminations? Or was it 16 or 18? Well, that was a big number they just dropped. And now the gap between themselves and the other Raw, Mongolia, has dropped significantly. 90 degree doing a magnificent job of putting some serious numbers on the board there. 700 plus in damage. And Jiggle still being the man that he is, being the number one in damage for the guys from Raw, almost doing 900. And he did get 4 eliminations, so that tells you a lot. He was shooting every single corner, every nook and cranny. He was shooting. He was throwing grenades. He was popping Molotov cocktails. There was nothing he wasn't doing. Ajaya, for me, was absolutely brilliant for the guys from Undergang. Absolutely fantastic to watch. Crowns, but take a look, 28 points.
Just a lot of points being gathered here by Raw Esports Nepal. Exactly what they needed. CMF doing 12 points. Not a bad showing, but almost not enough. We'll be figuring out when we see that overall rankings. On the Gang Esports have been doing numbers, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from them so far. 10 points up on the board is going to push them up a little bit. Going to secure that second spot for them, at least for the time being, before we go into that chaotic Sanhok of a game. But we're starting to see a little bit of an upset, because when we start to look at that fourth position, we're seeing the players there from Vilence. We're looking at teams like Stronger Esports being up here, even the Vikings, I8 Crew, the PX team from TMT. Like, these are not from Inimical, sorry. These are not teams that are in the contest, These are teams that are on the other side of the board, currently causing a little bit of an upset on the top of the leaderboard. And this is not something that we want to see, or especially on the final day, but this is something that we would have to see. It's inevitable. You already called it out in the earlier of the day that we're going to see some upsets, and that is exactly what we've seen here in this map of Miramar.
Very interesting. Still, seeing Raw Mongolia on the other side of the leaderboard is very, very concerning. Dead-eyes guys from chicken dinner to getting cooked right out the gate. I mean, we've seen this play out time and time again. So it's super interesting to see if they can make some of the last couple of matches that they will have. Is going to be super intense going into the final third, But 59 total elims, 140 throws used. I believe I've seen 200, over
Yep,
200. So I think I
yeah,
yeah I have.
We saw over
Yeah,
200 coming in through in the first two games of yesterday. So right now seeing 140 is still a little bit of a reduction from what we saw from the numbers we saw in the first two games yesterday. And right now the map rankings or the MVP rankings, sorry about that, still almost looking the same except for this time Roy Sports Mongolia's player has been removed from there, being replaced here by Zordi from Raw Esports Nepal, holding up there with 24 elims. Kirito still holds down his lead, but right now it's just by a hair because it's just 1 point that separates him from Ajaya, who has been absolutely bonkers going into today's games. And those numbers reduce. This is now down to 14 points separating first place from second place. He starts getting smaller and smaller. Raw Esports Nepal removing Raw Esports Mongolia from that top three, adding a little bit of a list there. I believe that is 9 points of a difference between themselves and the other Raw Esports team. But as I said, the battle is still on. Deadites guys still have a chance in this one. CMF, I would almost say they have a chance, but they're going to need to start popping off as soon as possible.
exactly. They need to start popping off right out the jump. The moment they're out the plane, if they can even get some eliminations while in the air, now is the time to make that happen. The Vikings clutching up, getting into that top seven, and MS slipping away into eighth. VS in ninth place with 62 points. There's still a chance for them to make something happen here to get into that top five. But then, in order for them to succeed, the others must fail. That is the idea of this kind of leaderboard performance. In order to succeed, you must make sure your enemies fail as well. High voltage, unfortunately, slipping away into that bottom 10 on the other side of the leaderboard here. But that grand final opportunity is also slipping away with it. It is going to be chaotic, going into the final third of the next couple of games. But, Raw and Deadites guys have secured their first chicken dinners of the day. And I talked about, the first day of the playoffs, 5 different maps, 5 different chicken dinners. That happened on day 2. On day 1, it almost happened, but Villain was able to get 2 chicken dinners to wrap things up. But I see that happening today. Today, I see 5 different chicken dinners, Crowns.
We'll see about that. To be honest, Sanhok is going to dictate the rest of the games today, and I think this will probably be the first time that I'm saying that, you know what, Sanhok, I would prefer these teams to play a little bit more conserved. Try to play a little bit of strategy, and in as much as some of the other teams might want to choose not to play that, I would say the teams that find themselves on the top of the board, this is not the map for you to go all guns blazing. This is the map for you to try to salvage as much placement points as possible, and try to see if you can secure your mental game going into the remaining 2 games of the day. But we're not going to start talking too much about that. We've got Sanhok coming up next, so be sure to stay tuned to the camera, stay tuned to the stream, and we will see you guys in a bit just after this break. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be missing our beautiful and cute faces for the time being. Why? Because we cannot wait any longer for the Sanhok game to get started. Priest, I was just mentioning that this playing path was a little too nice for the map here of Sanhok. Everyone has decided to avoid Paradise Resorts. We saw a hot drop in Paradise Resorts yesterday. Right now, we're not going to be seeing that hot drop right now. Everyone seems to be practicing social distancing from that position. I'm not really seeing any hot drops for the time being. Priest, how are you feeling about Sanhok?
Ooh, all drops. It would be pretty ideal to see more of that chaos. I mean, the play zone is giving a little bit of this the southern vibe. Sami just out of touch, but some chaos here coming through. I believe that is Honor Gang getting their hands dirty right out the gate. And it looks like that northern area will not be enough to contain most of these teams. Jimmy looking for that opening again. They've got that first elimination, and we talked about this. Most of the teams were expecting them to play a little bit more conservative, but that's not going to be the case here. The chaos has already started to brew, and another one will bite the dust. Undergang up to 2, looking for more. Igneous on the top of the roof there, trying to deal with the guys from PX. You have to reposition again. Junaye just holding that DBS, clutching onto it very tightly. But here comes high voltage inside of boot camp, switching up. Beautiful touch from Saitara again. Another one to follow through. And I believe that will be the end of the Vikings.
That's quite interesting because we saw high voltage yesterday in Paradise Resorts. Today they've decided to come take that fight out here in boot camp, and they have emerged victorious. You love to see that one. On the Gangi Sports, they were not in that position yesterday, but today they've come in through and now they've won that engagement, at least for the time being. However, that position that they find themselves is easily third party, and CD Sports have really got to learn how to keep themselves alive in the early phases of the game. Because right now they've lost 2 players. Scooby needs to get revived, and that is one of their very strong sprayers. And right now, this hot drop here in Khao, totally unnecessary. Painan is still open. He only has his fist. Oh, he has a DBS. There we go. That is a return knock now being found. Kirito still alive. It's a very strong thing for the side there of Sealy Sports, the current MVP of the tournament. And Kirito now falls to that very tight peak. Coming in through from him, 90 degrees still alive. Another one of the strong players with the showing, and Sealy Sports go out first. We just one elimination being found. On the Gangi Sports realizes they cannot go out early, and now they start to deal the numbers onto the players there from Dead Eyes Guys.
Again, Dead Eyes Guys, the top teams crashing into each other in Sanhok. We saw this happening, and it's already coming to pass. Seal Esports, their fate is all but sealed right now. Body starting to drop once again, and that they are one of the teams to go out relatively very early. Crowns, we talked about this. We can see that top position slipping away from Seal. It gets even more dangerous the longer it takes for them to, catch on into this final. Maps left, and they are already down so many points. They've lost so many points in the past 2 matches, 3 games, and now it looks like Undergang have the opportunity to rise to the occasion. Now it's just the numbers right now are not a lot. There are not a lot of numbers for Undergang now to catch on. We started the day with over a 20-point difference, and now it has reduced even significantly further as Electro has been spotted there by the guys from MS. Beautiful spray, by the way. It's always difficult, Crowns, to play from Cow. It's so exposed. The terrain is so exposed.
Yep, you can always have that one player on the outside doing those off-angle damages. It is a 1-to-1 trade right now, but CMF find themselves on the disadvantage right now. They do not have too many players. Now they even the tides. Now it is a 2v2. They cannot push outside because they are very aware of that third-party angle. And I saw 6ix9ine trying to do a 100 IQ nade there. Didn't try to pull it off anymore. MS Star looking to fall back a little bit, not wanting to draw too near. 90 degree gonna get refreshed on that loot there. But that position there from Fury, if he does get exposed, he's gonna seal the deal there for MS. Now we do see MS pushing up little by little. Tabby downstairs playing with the door. CMF realizes they cannot go out. Like I said, they're still in contention. If they're able to get themselves a chicken dinner in this game, it could still be their game for the taking. Damage now being done, 90-degree, continuing with the prowess right now. And I like the fact that he just hinted them that I do have a DBS. So if you're thinking about pushing me, you got to be careful.
DBS gives you that little bit of spring chicken vibes. Always got to think. Always got to stay on your toes. Be careful now. Enjoy what I play, but you do have to be careful regardless. MS still circling around, if not necessarily engage this with all of their power, but it is a 3 versus 3. And it's now a matter of who is going to have the upper hand. Fury still on the back line there, has an interesting off angle, but they cannot expose themselves to that western side. So we'll have to be very careful how CMF decide to play this one going forwards. ZBS, rather DBS, looking for that opening again. UMP from Agent 14, beautiful sidestep, but unfortunately he is no match for the AKM.
This is the first time I'm actually seeing GSM win their engagement in a hot drop. Maybe not necessarily a hot drop, but in a 4v4 engagement. But right now, they have to get challenged again as Raw Esports Nepal now pushing up to the position now. They already have one elimination. 90-degree has been failed, which means the players there from CFM or CMF have to deal with just 6ix9ine and Electro. And you can already see that that confidence is down. Given that their strongest player is down, you could already just see them instantly falling back. It's definitely not what they would have wanted. Raw Esports Nepal still looking for their push up onto the players there from ZC GSM. We'll see how well they're able to hold on to their compound here.
Yeah, compound looking very malleable for Raw Esports, but it will take a little bit of a lot of intel actually to keep the guys from GSM at bay. Might bounce that grenade off the walls, but unfortunately he will not do as much damage as he intended. We'll pop another one over the top. It's just too far out of reach. Raw looking for that opening as well. Assassin has been absolutely fantastic. That's a fantastic grenade again. But he does have the right idea, and it's a perfect execution from Zordi. And that opening they've been looking for, they found a confirmation to follow through from Assassin. And Raw again up to 2, looking for another from G2 again. He will be the next one to be felled. Killer follows up immediately, swallows the DBS, tries to pop one over the top, but that is just frantic DBS shooting. That was just frantic. He just shot the DBS for scare tactic purposes. He didn't even want to knock anybody out, and you could tell he was just so frantic. But the guys from Raw didn't even take any chances. They took no prisoners, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you get it done. GSM swept away in 12th place, and Raw continued their dominance.
I8 Crew, one of the teams that are free to do whatever they want to do on this map of Erangel, on this map of Sanhok. Already taking out some of the players there from High Voltage. High Voltage find themselves down to just the one player. Wonder how they made that happen. It did look like I8 pushed down the hill because they were close to the bootcamp area, and High Voltage were in bootcamp. So I8 Crew able to push down the hill, able to get themselves knocked. But now we're already starting to see players going out as inimical now. Pushes up to the side there of I8 Crew. This is a hint of part of the chaos that we saw here on the map of Sanhok yesterday. And this is going on in the center. And I like the fact that the teams that are out there on the top, or the remaining teams that are still on the top, they're nowhere near all of this engagement. They're like, y'all be safe. We're not doing this. Raw Esports Mongolia is in the area. However, the remaining of the teams, they're like, nope, we're not doing this.
Yeah, Raw Esports Mongolia packing as much intel into their strategy as possible. They are playing the terrain, but it's going to take a lot more than playing the terrain if they are trying to get into that back into that top 3. As the guys from Raw Esports or Nepal already have some points on the board, they've not been able to do more of the same for themselves. VS will come out on top in their engagement against the guys from Exhibit. Reflex would be the one to swallow the last grenade. As Villains will come out with 4. You hear the the DBS singing. That will probably be somebody's crate getting the business.
My guys was getting a little too excited out there. Hopefully they're able to make it count. Players there from Inimical Monk just out there chilling. Very close to the players there from Roy Sports Mongolia, who are just trying to gather as much points as possible. They're out here in the center of the circle. The entire, from the center of the circle down to the south, totally empty. We're not seeing one too many teams out there. IAT Sports and the players there from Roy Sports Nepal looking to get started, and there is a one-to-one trade already ongoing. Arrow, a very strong player there, looking to push behind that rock or behind that tree now. As Inimico, they do have that little bit of a flank angle. Arrow slips on that one, does get taken out from the side, and the players there from Roy Sports Mongolia dropping like flies. Sancher and Orbit, the last two players left to hold it down. And grenades coming through. That is a sexy one. A Molotov to follow that, and that's what they call insults to injury. As Orbit now pushing in from the side, DBS in the hands. And just trying to find himself a little bit of an off angles. Glock and Javed now have had the tides turned against them. They have to hold on, and it does look like there might be third party. As Glock, he cannot push up. He knows his cover fire is just right behind him, and Orbit is just trying to keep him there behind that rock for the nade. And it definitely works. And Javed now has to activate his JP card as he turns and runs out of there.
Ooh, tricky about the second. Zainem will have to reposition down to one. Rafi has been knocked away, and the reset is not going to be happening, as we saw that Javed did activate his jackpot card, and out of the position he will go. So unfortunately, they will toss that elimination to the guys from Raw, so they will increase their numbers. Now they are in second place, 7 eliminations up. Here comes Villains trying to deal with Sanchera and Orbi. Grenade is good, over the top. Orbi gets knocked away. Sanchera will be the last one up. A couple of interest over the side again. The smoke grenade is already there, but the DBS will shut that down immediately. Sanchera couldn't keep it up, and Raw Esports Mongolia could not crack the code
at all. They still remain in fourth. Dead Eyes guys just 2 points behind them. CMF, a chicken dinner would make them bump them into that fourth position if possible. Undergang Esports still alive on this one, playing it very slowly, coming in through from that eastern side of the circle. Every other person is fighting on the northeast, and they're just driving in slowly. CMF also taking their time. Roy Sports Nepal running into the last player there from Inimical Monk, who does take him out instantly. The Tommy gun beginning to get a little bit of its love. And Dead Eyes guys now looking to get started with the remainder of the players there from Raw Esports Nepal. And I believe Raw Esports Nepal down to just the one man to hold down. Try to gather as much points as possible, because in as much as you're still you're in second position right now, you cannot sleep off. You have to continue to get as little points as possible, or as many points as possible, even if it is little, to make sure that you remain in that top 3.
The top 3 is where you want to be. Dead Eyes guys have 5 on the board, so they have breached into the hundreds, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Javed is just chilling, not making it sound, not moving a muscle. Well, he will make it spray sooner rather than later. Molotov cocktail just by the window, and he finally starts to move outside. But the moment he hops outside, the sprays will be fantastic. Oh, that's a nice grenade over there. But unfortunately, will not get the job done. But he did do a magnificent job of keeping the rest of the guys from Villetside Bay. Inimical Monk, last player up. VS again, trying to breach through. Grenade is good. Just outside. Perfect grenade from Jamie. Connects to Javed, and he's going to be knocked away. Will be sent back into the lobby with the quickness. No rest for the wicked. Villains are the villains. 6 eliminations. They're climbing up. They're trying to crack into that top 6. They're not too far away now. If they can keep this momentum, Crowns, I believe I see this happening.
Definitely. Villains Esports have come onto something here. Jamie, J for me, however it is pronounced, definitely doing the work here. So 4 eliminations up on board. Dead Eyes guys already still also looking quite excited in this game. 5 eliminations already up. They still have Claw alive, so the hope is still there. Precious also still alive. One of the MVPs in the showing today. But now here comes the spray now. Claw has been exposed as Sakura does get tagged off from the side by Precious. Such a crucial player for the players here from Dead Eyes guys as they're able to find enough. Tony tries to peek and Claw shows him exact reasons why he should not. Roy Sports Nepal does get taken down. And if you're looking at that leaderboard on the right, you can start to see the dance around coming in through. Roy Sports Mongolia now down to 5th. And this is not fun times at all. CMF trying to ride into the blue zone, but they're drawing too close to the players there from Undergang Esports. That is exactly what is happening there. Electro has been felled, and 6ix9ine remains waving the flag there for CMF.
CMF will need a lot to do here. Oh, that's a fantastic spray from Claw. Catches the first body. And surely he will be dropped away, but another opportunity for Sakura to play along the right side of the terrain there, trying to get an angle onto the corner. Claw will go for the first, surely. He tries to explode that vehicle. Precious will close the chapter on that one. Dead Eyes guys pulling in just outside of ruins. A perfect position. They do have a lot of ground to cover to move inside of the play zone going forwards, but that will not deter them at all. Numbers starting to drop still. 13 players in the cut. We've still got 5 teams. And the top 5 right now looking very strong. Sakura with grenade in hand, pops one over the top. The smokes are doing a magnificent job of shielding the angles there. And it all comes down to audio cues. And Nova is perfect with the spray. Catches Sakura off guard, and he's going to be knocked away. Another opportunity for the guys from VS to rotate around the right-hand side. Kim Tony, the next victim spotted. Beautiful spray. Sakura finally confirmed. Precious off playing the backhand side, and a fantastic spray to follow suit. Nova's been knocked away. Another spray over the top side, and convene and find a better position to hold on for the guys from Dead Eyes guys. And Crowns is looking like so much chaos here. Who's going to walk away with it though? The reset's already coming through, and Dead Eyes guys will have to pick and choose what it is they want to play coming forward from this particular position.
Makari's now being brought back to his feet. And Kim Tony nades out Precious from the vehicle. We don't see that every day. And Precious now falls. The runover not quite playing too well. As Claws looking for that grenade, but Dead Eyes guys, they look to be shifted out of position here, and that they're pushing carelessly. 2 players now down to the same type of grenade. One while walking, one while in the vehicle. Another grenade to the top, and Kim Tony, he's excited about that one. The BM onto the crates there, getting themselves. Oh no, Dead Eyes guys, they did not have to go out that way. They had no reason to push in such manner. Just play calmly. They shouldn't have allowed that revive come through in the first place. But that passiveness has come to haunt them now. As now they have the last 2 games to make sure it counts if they want to be in that top 3 at all.
An unfortunate turn of events there, guys. I really thought they had it in the bag. I mean, they had the angles, they had the position. High ground versus low ground. You would think, high ground wins at least every single time. But unfortunate scenes for the guys from Dead Eyes guys. VS did not let that one slip away from them. Kim Tony, absolutely diabolical with the grenades. And now MS with 3 eliminations are looking for a position inside of that circle to make something happen. VS coming in from the north, and I think they will play around the area of Tambang. CMF is also in the play zone. They've not given away their position just yet, but they will be able to play off the guys from Underground just coming up from this vicinity. They're playing in from a little bit towards the southeastern side. And now the play zone has shifted a little bit towards the north. Crowns is switched the entire game up.
Undergang Esports have to deal with this gatekeep coming in through from meter shot. And this is where he starts to get stressful. Ajaya now has been spotted. One of the very strong players there for Undergang Esports. And Tabi's just out there gathering as much information, intel. We know how far he goes here in the game of PUBG Mobile. And meter shots, it does not look like they want that engagement. They want to get straight into the circle. The players there from Villain Cell also driving their way into the center of the circle. This is one of those games where I say you cannot go wrong with the shorelines. So right now, if you want to drive over to the shorelines, you should be good. And meter shots, they're doing something that I wouldn't advise, but they do not have a choice. All 3 players in that one UAZ looking to drive straight into the zone. Undergang Esports have to leg it in. and Kim Tony pushing up onto the last player there. This
Ooh.
Kim Tony player needs to be stopped. And for everybody he kills, for everyone he takes out, he's out there just even doing more onto the crates there.
Chaos is a ladder, and Kim Tony will climb it. UG just making their way into the zone. Igneous was spotted there. A couple of shots were sent his way. A meter shot trying to create a little bit of cover for themselves. They're sitting very nicely just by the south of the circle there, and a nice spray over the top. Igneous finally getting tagged away. Undergang, I don't know if they can go for the resets, but it will take a lot of resources for them to make something happen again from that angle. And I don't think that's going to be working through. But VS pulling up to the scene finally. Grenade over the top. Fury. Makaris does a magnificent job with that grenade. And will open the angles there for VS to make it through. Villains, the villains again. 11 eliminations. Another one bites the dust. Ajaya, we know what it's capable of. Sprays over the top. Consistency is the watchword when it comes to Undergang. Jimmy and Ajaya, beautiful dual combo. So 2 versus 2, trying to do with Villainsa over to the northern side. And now the circle back is coming through from Jimmy. He's looking for that off angle. He's looking for that position. That is exactly his terrain. That is exactly what he loves to play. Villainsa still holding on. Now finally Ajaya has been caught out. So 1 versus 2. Surely he will be swept away unconfirmed. And Jimmy's now looking for that angle to do something here. But Kim Tony surely will be aware if he's not going to be getting caught off guard.
He gets this one knock. It becomes a 1v1. Kim Tony, love the fact that he's choosing not to stay in one spot right now. And both of them pushing as a duo. You love to see that teamwork coming through from them. There is a DBS in the hands there of Jimmy, though. Does spot that one player, gets him down, swaps over to the DBS, looking for more. The grenades there in the hands there of Makaris. But Jimmy's gotten all that he wants, which is that thirst. That one more elimination. Jimmy coming in through from the side is the battle of DBSs. Villain said they've played in such a deserving manner of this game. And indeed, they will get the chicken dinner to add, to crown their efforts. And what a way they've played. What a game they have had here, Villain said. Grabbing themselves the winner chicken dinner. It might not do much in terms of putting them in the top 3. However, it's going to be a huge confidence boost for them, knowing that they still have it in the bag as they get themselves that chicken dinner. And what a game. What a game from them. I would be very surprised if we have any other MVP apart from Kim Tony, because that player was absolutely excellent. Grenaded people who were static, grenaded people moving in vehicles, grenaded people that were walking, and bro, he was on something else. What a player.
Yeah, Kim Tony, always cooking, always in the kitchen, always wearing that apron. That is the DBS and the
What?
grenades. The combo is absolutely insane. But Makaris was the one who knocked today. I mean, it's crazy though. I do think Kim Tony will outdo him in terms of damage, but with the eliminations, and performance. Well, hold on, Makaris.
Yeah,
Hold
I think
on.
it's just based off
This is
of a lot does play into it, and I think survival time is why
I'm pretty sure.
yeah, survival time definitely has to be one of the things on there, and maybe also the damage being done. I know Macarius actually did do a whole lot of damage onto some of those early engagements, especially up onto Dead Eyes guys, because Kim Tony was on the off angle throughout the engagement there with Dead Eyes guys. So Macarius did get the chance to do a lot of damage on there, but nonetheless, it was a very good game. And look at that. Kim Tony, 728 damage. Dead Eyes guys having Nova doing 714. But I just have to say, this deadly duo from Villain Series Sports, they definitely deserve this chicken dinner. And I'm not even sad that they won it. It was a very good showing from them.
Absolutely perfect way to close out the Sanhok game for VS. They did a magnificent, magnificent job. You can't take it away from them. Undergang still consistent, still putting numbers on the board. And Deadeyes guys as well were able to rise to the occasion to keep them at bay. But Raw also putting points on the board. It's like nobody is even slipping up. If you're getting points, I'm getting points too. Except the guys from Raw, Mongolia, they're slipping away. They're slipping. They're really slipping away. Seal as well slipping away. I don't know if Undergang and Deadeyes guys did enough here to rattle them, but I believe they did, owing to the point that they got only 1 point, and
Hmm.
OGVK, Zivet, and PX have not been able to find their footing just yet. GSM as well. I believe this is the first, time GSM actually did finish some significant number of eliminations, coming
Yep.
forward.
And I got to tell you something. Let's make this interesting, right? And I already know it because I've done the mental math. Going into this game, Silly Sports had 14 points of a lead above the side there of Undergang Esports. Silly Sports got one elimination in this game, making that a 15-point lead, and Undergang Esports got themselves 14 points from this game, which means between first place and second place, we're going to see just a 1 point difference between both teams. They have the same number of chicken dinners, which means that both teams are not eligible for that placement points. And there we go. The math is done. I did say it. And I said, Silly Sports, it is slipping out of their fingers. They need to make the last two games count because we know the teams like Roy Sports Mongolia, Dead Eyes Guys, Roy Sports Nepal, and Undergang Esports. They are not showing any signs of letting go. They are still on this
Exactly.
one. And what a game we've just seen from Undergang Esports. If they won that game, they would have been number one right now.
Yeah, they're on them like white on rice crowns, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. CO Esports have let the lead slip away. It boils down to the final two matches now. It is now it's no longer a question of, will see Esports win the final. It's a question of, will see Esports be in the top three at this rate, because Dead Eyes Guys are not going to slow down for no one. Raw Esports Mongolia, they definitely have it in them to pull a 20-pointer. It's still in the works. They can still do it. Third game of the day has been completed. Valença also stepped up to the plate. They are not out of the running either. I believe they were sitting somewhere in 10th place, but after this game, I think they cut in into some sort of bottom eight or thereabout. So they're not out of the woods just yet. I believe a performance like this again will do something for the guys from Valença. But I'm buying a little bit of an interesting lineup coming into the last two games. It's going to be very interesting to see what Seal Esports will do concerning the guys from especially Raw Esports Mongolia and Dead Eyes Guys, specifically Dead Eyes Guys, because Claw and Nova are not going to stop. The consistency from them is just top notch.
We are going to be heading back into either Miramar or Erangel. All things being considered, it should be Miramar again. We do know more Roy Sports Mongolia have a very strong showing on that map. Would they be able to get the chicken dinner? Would Sealy Sports continue to hold their lead, or would they continue to drop? We find out after we come back from this break. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 8-Hour Stars Cup Battle of Regions. I gotta adjust my glasses for this one because the battle really is on. The battle for this region really is on. We're starting to see that top three not be predictable anymore, and it is slipping out of their fingers there of Sealy Sports. And at the same time, the rest of the teams are feeling the pressure to continue to hold on to their consistency. Priest, how are we feeling as we get ready for the fourth game of the day?
It's gonna be very interesting, though. I'm not gonna lie. I talked about Seal Esports and I talked about final day jitters. We've seen this happen time and time again. Teams crashing and burning on the final day. The pressure just being a little too overwhelming for them, and then falling short. It's gonna be very hurtful for Seal Esports if they let this one slip away. But then it's not a matter of letting it slip away. It's just of your team, and getting out by other teams, and it's not more of you falling short, because saying they fell short is saying they didn't perform in the past couple of days or something along those lines. They've been very excellent. They have been absolutely fantastic, to watch. But today they just haven't brought that thing that we know that they can do. They've not just haven't found their footing yet. But Dead Eyes guys and Raw have found it already, and they have their foot on the gas, and they are not taking it off.
I tell you, and even when we start to talk about Raw Esports as well, both teams from Raw Esports Mongolia seem to be dropping points a lot today. It's almost like there is a second place curse that is currently going on, because this is exactly what happened to Dead Eyes guys going into yesterday's games, and now going into today's games as well. We're seeing Raw Esports Mongolia drop points as well. Raw Esports Nepal have actually been doing quite the numbers, but as we're about to get ready into the next game, I believe we're already in that next game, so let's get into it. We're going back to the Holy Lands of Erangel. That playing path is nasty, as it's on that eastern side of the map, taking us all the way from the outskirts of Stolba down to the waters of the military island. That is not fun at all. Places like Jojopo, Hospital, Zarki, Gatska Quarry, Primosk, and Ferry Pier, all out of reach for this game, and you'd have to do a lot of jumping to actually even get as far as Pochinki. And I'm really hoping we don't get to see hot drops, but definitely that school area is going to be choked up. So Sealy Sports do have a whole task for them to handle.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting and very, very critical, the decisions that these teams will be making going forwards. But that is the job. That is the
Hmm.
work that is required to play at this level. So you cannot even blame them, for not being able to rise to the occasion when the pressure is on. But the northern side and a little bit of the central part of the map will contain so many bodies, and I believe that hot drops will be a possibility here. But CMF, I believe I see them turning up in this game. There's a possibility for them to do that one. Like you said, school is going to be very, very caked up. There's going to be a lot of teams inside of this area. There's going to be a lot of utilities being burned away here relatively very quickly. So hopefully we'll see who is ready to take on the responsibility of making their team successful and the play zone crowns all the way to the west.
Not just any part of the west, the southwest, which means there is still that possibility of the play zone ending around the ferry pier towards that western reach of the military island. And there we go. Scooby, one of the strong fraggers there for the team here of Sealy Sport, does find the knock, but it's traded off
Oh,
instantly with the grenade. Sealy Sports, they cannot afford to go out here. They've brought in a new player to the mix. It's going to be Spectre to hold on the fort for them as well. As Stronger Esports also would go for that revive to try to get the reset.
oh
Deadshot makes it on
no.
even once more. Finds another knock onto the side there of CD Sports, who have little to no HPs to talk about. Downstairs is going to be Kirito trying to hold on with 1 HP. He does get spotted, and
Oh
it's going to be
no.
Scooby. It's crumbling for the side there of CD Sports. Spectre pre-fires a little too early, falls to the S12K. Kirito's
Oh
HP is
no,
back up,
crowns.
but it doesn't matter anymore. Asili Sports 4. No points being able to be grabbed there. On the Gang Esports, we're just 1 point behind them. So first place is up for grabs. And the top three now opens up. Meter star or meter shots getting shot at in their own engagement in the outskirts of Severity. Both teams were trying to make it over to Severity, but they had the same strategy. That playing path was not very permitting. And right now they have to battle it out in the open fields. And third party Kings high voltage
Ooh,
are somewhere in the vicinity.
high voltage. Driving a little too close for comfort there. They will be punished. Star will have to drive relatively crazier than expected. But meter shots will not let this one rest at all. Hopefully he can get his HP bars back up. Saitara is all the way onto the back line there, and will be an opportunity for them to hold up, and he's going to be tagged away. MS biting off a little bit more that they can chew. High voltage will send the electricity their way, punish them for thinking that the block was safe. They will spin around. Fury will be the last one left for MS. Unfortunately for him, they've not discovered his position, but I think they have an idea of where he is. Satara pops up again. He's been spotted and he will be swept away. High voltage getting two for their struggles as a meter shot unfortunately miscalculated that one, and high voltage will make them pay for that mistake. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how you lose every single time. You will get dropped out. Here comes Nova Sir getting knocked away. Deadeye's guys trying to play inside of school. Crowns, you talked about this. School will be a very, very interesting point of interest for most of these teams, and we're starting to see why.
Deadeye's guys losing players one after the other. It's going to be, bro, it is school, bro. I don't think cars are allowed in the corridor, you know. But anyway, Deadeye's guys able to make it into the school for the time being. It's not a very great spot for now, but I know they would want to be there. They're still in that first circle, which means eventually they would need to start rotating. But this is not fun at all. We're starting to see teams in the middle belt cause a lot of upsets. High voltage taking out the players there from meter shots, who were currently somewhere around in the 5th position of the leaderboard. And now we did see stronger esports taking out the number 1 team, Seal Esports. And this is definitely not fun at all. The Zivits team, we've not really seen them show us what they're made of today. Right now find themselves having to deal with some of the players there from high voltage just in the outskirts of Severny.
Mental mathematics will be ongoing right now. Severny is not where you're trying to be. It is way up north. A lot of parties getting dropped out. They've gathered the intel. You knew for a fact that they were aware that that player was in there. They just wanted to know how many players were in there. They discovered it was just one, and they dealt with it very, very swiftly. High voltage on the voltage right now, dropping bodies left, right, and center. Ichigo will be a surviving player for the guys from Exhibit, but again, very strong, trying to deal with the guys from the Vikings. And the DBS will try to pursue him, change his direction, and change his orientation. But Gyrox pops over, tries to get an opening there with the DBS. Confirmation will follow through. Jing Chen will be spotted and sent back into the lobby as well. And Glock will play the back line to hold off. The guys from OG will not let this one slide, and that will be the end. Back into the lobby they will go. Crowns, you saw it here. Again, 4 eliminations coming in for INM. They're equally starting to get those numbers up, and we saw how they perform. Every single time they get eliminations early, they tend to perform relatively very, very well.
And Deadeye's guys lose their last player. Ha ha ha. What is going on the top of the board? 4th place team eliminated. 1st place team eliminated. Roy Sports Mongolia, you have the chance. And to be honest, Roy Sports Mongolia actually have a good spot in this game. They're currently around Pochinki area. They can run Pochinki Hill just right before I8 crew, but I8 crew now have a little bit of a mountain to climb here, and they are climbing it quite alright as Inimico PX happens to be the one just right in front of them. Admiral not quite going down to the shots underneath the vehicle. Very confident on that push. Pushing in through from the left-hand side. Playing around with the terrain. DBS does the number up onto Arabi. And Arabi now going for the pre-fire. Switches over back to the... back to the Scarl. But it's not enough. As I8 crew, they are one team that knows how to take the fights. They play the bait and switch a little too well. And they've gotten themselves 4 eliminations, starting off this Erangel game the same way we saw that. And Priest I have to say, once again, Sanhok is done, and everyone's has thrown out the strategies, thrown it into the bush.
Exactly, you know, and I saw this happen. At the moment I saw the guys from Seal get eliminated, I was like, yep, here we go again. Numbers, body starting to drop. Phase one of the down to 10 teams.
Spin.
5 teams have been sent back into the lobby with the quickness. Oh, that's a nice spray from Ichigo over to Star, but unfortunately, the return fire was equally as brilliant, and now they're circling the block as well, trying to get an opening out. Grenade from Ichigo might do the trick here onto that position. That's a fantastic grenade. Might do the trick, and it will hurt immediately as well. TMT exhibit trying their absolute best to hang on for dear life.
And definitely knows he can use any points that he's able to get right now. Ichigo knows exactly where Star is, trying to make him think he's going for the first. And I love the play there. Goes for a couple more shots. And Ichigo, if I were to be Ichigo, I'm going to do an emote. You're going to do an emote. You have to do an emote. There we go. You have to force Star to want to push up to this position. And indeed, it has worked. And now you can see Star's using up all of his utils, trying to just push up to this one position, smoking up his enemy's line of sight. And it is nice to see, but Ichigo's got a rough way, does he? Maybe not. Sending out those grenades, and it is the ultimate 1v1. The blue zone is here to play a little bit of spoiler or maybe catalyst in this engagement to kind of rush both teams to get started. Star has a rough idea, sends the grenade in, it's a good one, it does the damage. The reload needs to come through, and Ichigo also has to get the HP backups. But man, all he's got is bandages. Pulls up one. DBS putting up against him. The pre-fires from the UMP is something you cannot do with the DBS. The bad manners on 2. 6 eliminations there for the Zivits team. And he will be able to get his HP back up. Raw Esports Mongolia is out.
Raw Esports Mongolia biting off a little bit more than they can chew there. We can already see the results. The leaderboard, they're already doing the math in their heads. They're gonna have to have one hell of a game in the final game if they want to change how the leaderboard is looking right now. But Domain, Admiral, and the rest of the guys from I8 are looking very strong. 7 eliminations, 4 bodies up. They do not have a lot to lose going forwards. But Octopus will be getting caught out by Curse. CMF looking for that opportunity as they will get the first elimination for themselves here and playing around this position. 90 degrees drives through, gets an opening, and a fantastic spray over to the back line. Exposed himself a little bit too much towards Admiral there, and he will be getting blocked out. Knocked away, unfortunately. DBS to follow suit. And again, it comes naturally to these players, the way they swap to the DBS. But Admiral now has got that knock, and he might be going for that flush sooner rather than later. And 6-9 will be spotted, but the return fire is equally brilliant with the M416 over the top side. And will make the push onto that corner. CMF versus I8, one after the other. The numbers start to drop. Uprooted immediately by Electro and will be swept away. BS now pulling up to the scene, trying to pick up whatever's left from this engagement. Electro running for dear life. He knows that he's in danger. Hops over the top and will try to get his HP levels back up, but switches to the DBS. He's not going to go for that pickup. Unfortunately, he will suffer. Makaris will shut that down almost immediately, and it will be down to just 2.
Villains, you can tell that they're excited about this one. Coming in through for the third party of the century, stealing away the knocks, getting those elims, and I8's crew down to just the one player in Domain who shouldn't have taken those shots. Gets into the vehicle and wants to get out of there, but you know, Villain said they're excited. They would go for the car chase. We've not seen this one in a while as they continue to take the shots towards Domain, uprooted by Sakura, and that is going to be a GG well played. And once again, that zone, the potential that I pointed out early on is what we're seeing, as that zone does look to be ending towards that ferry pair to the western bridge there. Undergang Esports have a very strong spot. They are the only team on the top part of the leaderboard still alive. But Raw Esports Nepal is also still alive. However, both teams, they really need to make this game count, because every other team that is out there in the race right now, they have to think of what strategy they have to employ in that final game of the day to put them in that top 3 to find them qualifying for the finals of the 8-Hour Stars Cup.
The finals, the grand finals. That is where everyone is trying to be right now. And you can understand why they're trying to get themselves a taste of that $6,200 prize pool. And I would do my best as well if I were them. If I was in the same shoes as them, I know what I'd do to get a taste of that money. But on the gang and looking to play this one slow and steady. They've not been able to get any eliminations just yet, but we know how capable they are with that lineup of Jimmy, Spike, and Ajaya doing a magnificent job of being consistent so far. But it looks like a stronger esports will be on the receive some chaos as well. And I think it's Villains and the guys from Raw Esports that have them in their sights. And they're down to
No.
just dead shot. He falls out of his vehicle. Makaris is there again. Again and again, Crowns. Makaris continues to show why he is the one who knocks. And knock he will.
Would we see a back-to-back chicken dinner from the side there of Villain said? No one has been able to stop them so far. And now Roy Sports Nepal decide to take a jab towards them. Assassin is going to be the first one in line. They've got the good angles, and Makaris is going to fall first to sleep. Have a lot of fans in the chat sleepy there. Now getting bombarded by Sakura now with the grenades. And we see Roy Sports looking for the off angles. Kim Tony trying to fall closer to his teammates. And I love the proactivity coming into from this team here. Villains on the elimination feed. I'm not liking who I see on the right-hand side of it. But Sleepy there is still getting grenaded. Sakura is just somewhere close. He's seen where that projectiles come from now. And now he's sending his own back. That is a good one towards Sakura. Does the damage, a lot of it. He knows that player is somewhere in there. There is that little bunker that you can play over there. And on the gang esports are losing players one after the other. Igneous has fallen as well. Villain said drop one more player, but Sakura takes the shot towards Jiggle. Doesn't quite get him down. Jiggle prone in the floor, trying to just spray towards that little opening. He's like, pick me if you dare. And Villain said they are seeming to be running towards their end. But Tony, he's grabbing that revive up to Makaris. If that man is alive, it is enough for that team. They're looking for the shots underneath the vehicle and they're finding them. And indeed, they will find them as Sleepy says no chance for any revives. Gets the thirst there. Sakura very close to this position. He's aware. Team Tony.
Awareness is the key. You can tell that Sleepy is putting the ops to sleep. Jiggle, grenade over the top to Sakura. He gets knocked away almost with the quickness there. It might get a little bit sketchy for the guys from VS to do something about this position. But Kim Tony has been spotted. And Sleepy will lay chase onto him, but he's aware as well. We talked about that awareness being absolutely critical here. 8 eliminations for all esports, but Villains on the escape. Kim Tony's aware of what's going on and is proactive to get out of danger relatively very quickly, but they will play on. They will make the advance to their position. Switches off again, forces them to pop over the side. DBS over to the left-hand side again. He will try, but unfortunately, Jiggle and Zordi and the rest of the players from Raw will cut that one out. And Villains will be swept away. They will be stopped. Raw Esports looking very, very strong. Again and again, Crowns. They are not relenting.
I mentioned that Pochinki Hill is such a strong position in this game, in the first Erangel game. And now everyone's leaving their relatively good position to go for Pochinki Hill. CMF going over there. Undergang Esports going over there. But the players there from Raw Esports, Nepal, they have all 4 players still alive. So they're looking quite strong in this one. 10 eliminations that they've gotten so far, and I believe that should be enough to put them in the top 3 now. No,
it should, yeah, it should, but that chicken dinner will remove all doubts, that's for sure. The chicken dinner is the doubt remover. So most of these teams know for a fact that all they need is a chicken dinner and a bunch of eliminations to reduce the amount of conversations.
I'm looking at the rotations that are coming through from the teams, and I guess I'm not going to blame them too much because first off, there is 1-2 little teams still alive. Everyone wanted to go to Pochinki Hill, which is always a great spot when it's in the circle. But now, when everyone tried to go there, and then they saw that other teams were going there, everyone pulled away from Pochinki Hill. Now
And now it's
Pochinki Hill is
empty again.
empty, right? And everyone has gone for the same type of rotation, right? So CMF has gone towards the shorelines, and the players there from Roy Sports are close to that shoreline as well. They're just driving around waiting for who's going to shoot at them. But they do seem to be taking all that action straight into the hands there of the players there from Undergang Esports. And with the way Undergang Esports is playing this game, you can tell that they do not want any trouble. All they want is placement points, enough placement points, get towards that second place as much as possible, and just put themselves up there on the leaderboards, because you can just see them driving around. They're currently holding an unwilling split, because that's what I like to call it. Because this is not an intentional split. This is one of those splits that you're on there just because of circumstances.
Yeah, circumstances is right. Play zone is very big right now, and there's very few bodies to contain. But Sleepy will catch a first body as well. Jimmy will be his victim. DBS upon his head, and they're up to 11 eliminations. Raw again starting to cook once more. We've seen them in the kitchen, and the other teams do not like the taste, but it is what it is. Raw Esports
Uh-oh.
Nepal are getting the numbers up there. It might take a little bit more than they want, but CMF might crash this party, and it might change the entire dynamic going further into this next zone shift.
As we anticipate that next circle shift, it does go straight into the open fields, spicing things up a little bit. The players there from Zivit is still alive. Cursed now trying to hold down the fort against the players there from Roy Sports Nepal. It's a little too many players on there. Hit him. He's not hitting him. But anyway, Curse would get uprooted from that vehicle, and 90 degrees going to follow suit as the players there from Roy Sports Nepal continue to put the numbers up. 13 eliminations so far. They're all alone on the south, and now if I were to be them, I'm just driving around. Really, there's only two players, and they know about that. It is two solos, and they're just driving. They're just gonna be driving around to find those two players, because Ajaya and Ichigo just driving around right now. Ajaya is just doing it. He's just doing an Erangel excursion right now, just driving around.
A little bit of I don't know if I would call that an excursion, but you're right. Actually, still along the lines, of a tricky lineup for them. I mean, like you said, I blame Sanhok Crowns. You know
Mm-hmm.
me. I love to lay blame. I blame Sanhok for this. I
Mm-hmm.
totally blame Sanhok. We saw this coming. After Sanhok, everyone is gonna get a taste of blood, and they were not gonna let it go. Immediately I saw the landing position, the playing path. I mean, it was just chaos waiting to happen, and happen it did. I mean, just take a look at the play zone. It is relatively very empty. A lot of bodies have been dropped, courtesy of the guys from Raw. They're 13 up. Look, they're still looking for more. They've lost no single player, but even the guys from Zivit have 6 as well. Even I think Undergang still have some numbers they put up as well. The play zone is just it's so tricky, because all of this stems from what happened in Sanhok. We saw this play out exactly like this yesterday, more of the same today as well. Now we're going into the final game, and we're going to expect to see more of this again. But now we might see, the teams at the bottom of the leaderboard trying to change things, trying to navigate or steer the game in a certain direction, courtesy of, other teams and how they perceive themselves. Ajaya will be a solo man here. Hopefully, he will be able to get himself at least a top 2 finish if he doesn't get discovered early. Ooh, here we go.
6 points is just a little too small for him, really. Don't
Oh.
even try it. The DPS shuts down the operation there. They wouldn't be able to get 6 points. They would have to settle for 5, because there was no eliminations to go alongside it. And Ichigo, the last player there from the Zivit team, just holding down the ends. And I think Zordi might just be feeling a little bit excited about this one, just driving around, trying to hear those sound cues. It's a 1v4. And I think Zordi might have just heard something. Oh, sees that player there in the floor. It's the battle of DBSs. Ichigo trying to push him from the side. But Raw Esports Nepal thrust themselves to the very top of the leaderboard with that winner chicken dinner. And now it's a question of where is Sealy Sports right now. Players there from Sealy Sports got 0 points. Undergang Esports were able to get themselves 5, which means Undergang is probably second now. But where is Sealy Sports? Where do their hopes lie? That is the question. But the man, the myth, the legend, Sleepy, being the MVP of this game, 4 eliminations and 804 damage. You love to see that one coming through from him.
Sleepy has been putting the ops to sleep. Back-to-back games, actually. And Raw Esports, this will be their second chicken dinner of the day, so there's absolutely no way they've been stopped. They just could not keep away from that chicken dinner. And now you can understand why. It is Sleepy. He has been absolutely brilliant the entirety of today. He has not relented. He has been absolutely certain what it is he's trying to do, what is he's trying to accomplish. You know, the setting he's trying to put on for the rest of his teammates. You have to love that. You know, Dante finally showing up in the damage category. Ichigo as well for Zive. He did a magnificent job of keeping them alive and keeping them into the top two. Was able to send some bullets away to all of the ups, fortunately for him. But I'm not sure Zivit has what it takes to, you know, crack into that top three going into the final game. But again, CMF, I don't know if they have if they've been able to do enough to put themselves into the contentment, or rather the consignment of, you know, the top teams of the leaderboard. But it's super impressive to see exactly how Sleepy and the guys from Raw have performed.
Valencia Esports did get themselves 12 points up on board. You love to see that one. Zivit getting themselves 12 as well. CMF with 9, I8 Crew with 8, Stranger Esports with 6 on that Gang Esports with 5. And to be honest, I can see fear in the bodies there of Undergang Esports with the way they've played this Erangel game. And at the same time, it might not be fair. It could just be a situation of every other person has decided to come into this game to play like it is still Sanhok when we're out here in Erangel. But anyway, Raw Esports nonetheless, 25 points and a chicken dinner, as I said, propels them to the top of the leaderboard. Love to see that one. Play Tribbles reducing from time to time. 63 currently being used in this game. Assassin with the longest elim I've seen so far in the finals. 397 meters for the longest elimination distance. You love to see that one coming in through. 2 airdrops were looted in this game. But nonetheless, as I said, we are down to just one more game to go. Everyone really needs to make that last game count. We've been seeing everyone putting in the work. We've seen a team actually get 2 chicken dinners today, and that was Raw Esports Nepal. Now that we head into the final game of the day, the last game is going to be on the map there of Miramar. I'm going to start dropping my predictions. It's not a prediction, it's just an analysis from what I've seen. Right? Yesterday, we saw the side there of Raw Esports Mongolia get themselves 2 chicken dinners there on the map there of Miramar. And one thing I can just tell you is they do know how to position themselves there on the map of Miramar, because that Miramar game where they did get taken out earlier on today, they saw that the team that took them out eventually won the game, right? Which was Raw Esports Nepal, right? So going into this final game, if Raw Esports Mongolia are able to tap into that, it might be a little too late, but that might just be the only chance that they get to chasing out the players there from Sealy Sports. And Sealy Sports, they cannot afford to get that drop spot, that hot drop in Miramar anymore.
Exactly. You know, CU Esports have a lot of ground to cover. They have a whole lot of ground to cover. But it's Miramar. We're going to be looking out for Raw Mongolia, that's for sure, because I know that, you know, Sancher would not like to, would not want to go out.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't trying to go out like that. So we know exactly what we're trying to get into. But ladies and gentlemen, it's the 8-hour Stars Cup. So don't touch that dial. We're about to head out for a little break. And by the time we return, we'll have the final map in the final game of the finals of the Battle of Regions for South Asia. So stay tuned and stay strapped.
Hello and welcome back to the 8-hour Stars Cup Battle of Region. It is the final game of the regional finals here. We've seen a whole lot of upsets coming in through. Sealy Sports has been dropping the numbers. Dead Eyes guys have not been climbing up. Roy Sports Mongolia have been dropping numbers, and now it is all down to the final game. Every one of these teams that I've mentioned need to get a good game in this last one in order to see if they can secure their spot in that top three of the finals. Priest, we're going into Miramar. How are you feeling about it?
Before we cut to the break, we talked about Raw Mongolia, and can they upset? Can they do something? Seal, after that performance in the last game, hopefully we see them switch things up because if they do get eliminated early again for the third time in a row, it will spell danger for them. They might have just let the entire thing slip away from them, but we can't know just yet. Even under gang, they cannot afford to have a bad performance as well. And it's Miramar. We did see the last performance from Undergang in Miramar. They did a magnificent job. They put some good points on the board there, but they need more of the same. They need performances like that. It's now a question of can they make it happen? We got to keep our eyes open to see if they're going to be that consistent going forwards.
Couple of teams having the same ideas here. Torre Himada does, or Cruz de Valle actually, seems to be where Dead Eyes guys and Villence Esports want to go to. And to be honest, Villence are really living up to the name today. They're really putting the villain in the lobby here, as they've been causing a whole lot of upsets. The Zivit team do need to be going up against the players there from High Voltage. And oh, that is going to be two knocks coming in through from the S12K. An absolute shredder of a weapon there, as they're able to get two knocks onto the side there of Exhibits. It's now a 2-2 trade with Vaxo and Sitara, the last two players left to hold down the fort for the side of High Voltage. Bado, can he do it again? No, he cannot. As the Exhibit team feeling quite excited about that last Erangel game, they would get all the wipes there and they would continue on this Miramar game.
An unfortunate scene for High Voltage there. I was rooting for them earlier, but now they've been swept back into the lobby, and now Raw Mongolia on the receiving end from Stronger Esports. They've been able to get one. Sancher on the chase. Deadshot trying to get rid of him. But the angles are looking tighter. Raw Mongolia will be able to play from that back line. A knock will suffice here. It's an unfortunate scene. If he can find a way to escape the danger and reset for the rest of his teammates, trying to lure them out, I believe that would be the strategy here. We can see that have been trying to play spoiler relatively for the longest time here. And hopefully that might yield something going forward. But Sancher might be getting blown away if he's not careful. Grenade over to the backside. Fantastic grenade from Poison. And now Raw Mongolia on the receiving end of some serious chaos. And here comes Poison jumping off just through the corners there. An opportunity to sing right through. Will it be the end? He's been tagged up and he might be dropped off. Poison escapes with a slither of HP. Stronger still trying to keep the guys from Raw Mongolia at bay, but they're back to 4.
Raw Mongolia still remain as a full squad. The pre-fire is coming in through. Deadshot is going to remain alive for the time being. I don't think there's any meds there for Poison. I think you could throw one to him. Sancher is still down. The revive's not come up just yet. And it's a battle of grenade. We do have the players there from Shot just right outside here, watching all of these engagements. And indeed, he does throw him that med kit. It's like, there you go, bro. Heal up. Because all HP bars are needed to be maxed out in this engagement. The revives, I think it is coming in through on the side of Roy Sports Mongolia. They might just be able to pull it off. But this is a stalemate right here in El Pozo. A fight that none of these teams can afford. At least for Roy Sports Mongolia, they cannot afford to take this fight. Stronger Esports do not have anything to lose.
Poison again. He has been absolutely crucial to this engagement. Now he's going to be dropped as well. Beautiful stuff coming in from Raw Esports Mongolia. We've seen them play these angles before, and they did come out on top. Shot tried to play spoiler from the back end, but unfortunately it didn't work out for them. And now Stronger will be down to Tom. the last player left. And he's playing from the high ground, trying to deal with the rest of the guys from Meter Shot, but unfortunately, the terrain will not allow him to be any deadlier than Meter Shot themselves. As the guys from OGVK will be following suit with high voltage. Back into the lobby they will go. And phase one of the circle, we've already lost 2 teams, Crowns. More of the same from the last game. It was just as fast as this, just like this in the Erangel game. Are we about to see more of the same?
The question that looms in our minds as we anticipate the outcome of this game. The one thing I'm excited about is how quietly this game has started. However, in as much as all our eyes are here in El Pozo, there is somewhere else that has caught my attention. It is on the Gang Esports. They have found themselves in a little bit of a trouble with Inimical. They're all chilling around Monte Nuevo, which is not a very fine place to be fighting. But at the same time, Deadeye's guys up against the players there from Villain Sir, and Makari is definitely spots the total. The total on the return fire is good. The headshot is connected there. Switches over to the Tommy gun. But Makaris, he's not going to let 1 HP slow him down. And he does get that knock. Deadeye's guys already down by 2. They're down to the last player to hold on the fort. And to be honest, Villain Sir, an absolute villain here in this engagement as Deadeye's guys continue to watch their chances crumble on the Gang Esports. Now they're falling. They've lost 2 players already, down to 2. Igneous and Ajaya once more to survive in the big and vast map of Miramar. That playing path was up towards, I do forget, but I think it was on around the eastern side. But right now the zone is also on that east. So a couple of these teams already find themselves in the circle. But right now, these hot drops, it is between teams that cannot afford to have them. And this is not fun at all.
Unfriendly scenes, Crowns, all the way across Miramar. Most of the teams are still outside the zone. And that western side, El Pozo looking very caked up. There's a lot of bodies in that area as well. But Raw Esports Mongolia starting to cook what we know they are very capable of cooking, but villains have been the thorn in the side of every single top team coming into the final third of the game. But Seal Esports, this might be the game where they turn things around. They've not been eliminated just yet, so hopefully Undergang not follow suit, and I believe they will be able to do enough. Tom has been spotted, popped a little bit too much there, but DBS has been knocked away, but confirmation will not come through. Meter Shot down to 2 for the time being, but the reset will be coming on very, very shortly. And Stronger Esports, their solo player, Tom, has been spotted. His position has been compromised, so he will have to reposition and play for somewhere else.
That is definitely what we have in mind. Play for something else. Leave the engagement if it doesn't favor you anymore. Seal Sports currently still looking alive up towards that northwestern side of the circle. They're just going to play it slowly. Deadeye's guys currently getting swamped with the numbers as CFM drive towards that northern side of Cruz de Valley. Villains Esports, once again, they have been villains all through the game. But out here, we keep our sights here on El Pozo with Stranger Esports still trying to fight this one out. Raw Esports Mongolia realizes that this doesn't favor them. They take their 3 eliminations and they've gotten out of there. They're like, we're not doing that anymore. Tom would eventually get spotted, and now they can heave a sigh of relief middle shots, knowing that they've dealt with everyone in El Pozo. And now the rotations is where we have to start looking out for this team here.
Rotation, it is time for them to reposition to a brand new spot inside of the circle. It will take a little bit more than they thought to make something happen of that one. That's a beautiful touch. Kim Tony be swept away there by, I believe, 90 degrees from CMF. CMF not necessarily been having the best day, but it's nothing too far-fetched for them to worry about now. Hopefully, none of these teams will let this one slide away. The Sonics has been spotted through the window there. Raw Esports still looking for that opening, still looking to deal more damage. You can see Sleepy is tagging the windows. He knows exactly where the ops are. And now Makaris continues to lay waste to all his ops. Balancer continue to be thorns in the side to every single team they come across. Bodies, 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 ladies and gentlemen. But the action continues to simmer down. They are trying their absolute best to work through the angles there. But looks like Raw, I'm not going to slay down again, but the S12K gets the job done.
Sleepy's good for one, though. He's getting approached now by the DBS now coming in through. The pre-fires are there. He's not quite able to find enough. Goes down prone, but will fall eventually. There was a little bit of support coming in through, so there was a trade-off there. But Raw Esports Nepal are losing numbers, and that player looking forward to grabbing all of his thirst, trying to grab the points there. Inimical, they've not held on to their end so far, so good. The ADS is there, the strafes are there, the strafes would continue, but it's not enough. Raw Esports Nepal, they fall. They fall with the question, have we done enough? Dead Eyes guys fall. They've definitely not done enough, Dead Eyes guys. They were in 4th position. Not too many points that they were able to accrue, but down they fall. CMF, they see that one, but they're pushing up onto the VLANs themselves. Macari's in a 1v1 up against Electro, finds the knock and takes him out. CMF is down. And we know that the players there from VLANs here, they are having fun with it. They are the absolute spoilers of the lobby today. And they are looking good while doing it.
And I was actually rooting for this team on day one. Just felt, a little bit too short. It would be interesting to see how they will wrap up the rest of today, but I'm super excited to see at least they had fun while doing it.
That is all that matters. You might decide to go out, but you want to go out in style. You want to know that you were the reason that Dead Eyes guys did not qualify into the game. You want to know that you are the reason why Raw Esports are not going to make it into the finals. But right now, Raw Esports Nepal, they have fallen already, and once again, they've got their nails in their mouths. Have we done enough? They did get 2 chicken dinners today, but was that enough to propel them into the finals? We do not know, but Raw Esports Mongolia continue to wave the Raw flag right now.
Raw Esports Mongolia, they have the idea, but Aero, unfortunately, getting swept away in all the chaos, and he's going to be knocked away. Back into the lobby he will go, but that's not going to stop them at all. The onslaught continues again. Spray from Glock is good. Almost perfect. Absolutely fantastic stuff coming in from INM. But there's still so many bodies around them. They can easily get overwhelmed. They can easily get overcrowded. But hopefully they will not get overwhelmed in this position, because now is not the time. They have to stand on business. But will they be able to?
Raw Esports Mongolia want to complete this fight. Sanchir now has come for the crash. He knows that they did get shot at when they were pushing up from that position. And Sanchir will fall to Rafi.
Rafi sprays
Instant
down
thirst to follow along.
perfectly as well. Continues to assault.
It's going to be a little bit of a stalemate out here. But that zone does move again, pushing all the way towards that northwestern side of the map. Undergang Sports still struggling to stay alive with 2. Sealy Sports have all full players alive. They heard the shots between Villain said, but they're not going to be taking the shots at well. They're not going to be fighting that one. Villain said they're really just driving across the map, trying to find those shots and taking out anyone who might just take a jab towards them. It is not a nice play, especially when there's a lot on the line. But nonetheless, they are willing to do it. Glock does expose his position, though. And I believe that is going to give Raw Esports Mongolia something else to push up to. We continue to move on to the fights there. We're looking towards that western side of things now, as we do see the water treatments trying to get crowded a bit. Not a very strong spot to play, if you ask me. But we do see Inimico somewhere in the vicinity. They're just out here chilling, trying to ward off the players there from Roy Sports Mongolia. But once again, right now, I'm liking what I'm seeing in this Miramar game. It does seem to be a little bit regulated. I mean, there's 9 squads left. However, there is still that very nice split going on across the terrain. There are a couple of teams holding quite the strong positions on the map. And we can already see IA's crew already finding their way towards the center of the circle.
The center of the circle. That is where everyone is trying to be right now. But Raw Esports Mongolia looking like they are trying to play this one as slowly as possible. But Nimical Monk will not allow them to move from that position. They're keeping them pinned down. And then we'll have to rise to a certain level if they are trying to put a thorn in the side of at least one of these teams that's trying to play from that central position. There's a lot of angles and bases for them to cover. Raw Esports Mongolia will be down to 2 players equally as well. And all the utilities that they are using right now to deal with it will yield onto something. But Viper switches again. Ooh. Beautiful shots. Fantastic stuff, actually, from Octopus all the way from the back line. And Viper will get the confirmation. Eliminations will go up to 4. And Domain will be circling the block looking for an opening as well.
And he does find it. The last player there from Inimico, the Phoenix team, does drop, and that'll be a GG well played. They would be watching this tournament over again, writing down the notes, figuring out the mistakes, and working on those parts of their game. But man, IA's crew now, they have to deal with the force coming in through from Raw Esports Mongolia. Raw Esports Mongolia realizes they have to push this one as quickly as possible. They need to get their rotations all started. Smokes, grenades, currently being chunked towards that position, but the third party looking very strong. I8, they're trying to run away, trying to fall back a bit. But the side of Raw Esports Mongolia, they do not want that to happen really, as they continue to give themselves a little bit of space. But man, Raw Esports Mongolia needs to leave this position. They are starting to get compromised.
Yeah, easily compromised. If they do like to play along those edges again, but we've seen how capable they can be. And it all boils down to how the rest of these teams will actually perform going forwards. MS, seen the action pop through again, but they are trying to play from the back line, and they will find a better position inside of that circle to make their own rotation as well, as I8 managed to escape from that side. And Raw Esports Mongolia will hold out just a little longer from this little corner. But the play zone, Crowns, it's not friendly right now. Interesting to see, like, we've got 22 players inside and 8 teams. And now the placement points will start to take effect. But who needs it most?
Sealy Sports, one of the teams that needs it, find themselves in the smack dab center of the circle. So right now they are just chilling and hearing, watching all of this happen. I8's crew cannot catch a break today. Now they're getting pushed by Inimico, who are down to just the 1 player in Glock. He's got that grenade sent out, and it is wonderful. Sends the I8 crew back and packing. 8 eliminations there for Inimico Monk, and of course, the emote has to follow suit. They are having fun while doing it, and you can just tell these are the teams that know that all they just want is the pride in saying that I took this team out. Just that bragging right is all they want. It's all that they could ask for. But right now, Raw Esports Mongolia needs to do all that they can. But right now, getting involved by the blue zone is not working out well as Sealy Sports open the heavens gates. They start to take the shots towards the Zivits team.
Yeah, you can see them just holding the line, playing smack dab in the center of the zone. But here comes Villains. They see them, they have eyes on them, and they might decide to play out along these lines. But the play zone is not too friendly here. MS will be taking some serious damage, and the play zone might hurt. But fortunately for them, it is just phase 3 of the circle. If it was phase 5, that would have been the curtains for him. Ooh. Play zone has shifted towards the south. And now the rotations would play a big big part of how the rest of these teams will actually move forwards, Crowns. It is a big determining factor. You can take a look from the north of Cruz de Val. You can see Villains making their advance closer and closer. If they run into Seal, this might just change the entire trajectory of how the rest of this game is going to play out.
Out in the blue zone, it's still Meter Shot taking out the shots. As they lose one more player, now they have to get into the zone. Undergang Esports are still alive in this one in Ijaya or Adaya and Igneos. Igneos on the bicycle, not something that we see one too often, especially in the map here of Miramar. But I guess if it moves, you can use it to pull off your rotation. Work with what you've got in it.
Exactly. It's crucial, working with whatever it is you've been provided with. That is what separates most of these from each other. You can see Undergang are still playing it very, very slowly. No confidence still. It's still Villainser that has a big number of eliminations, INM as well, but they're down to just one player. Yeah, it's Glock that's been holding the fort down for them for the longest time. But here comes Exhibit again, looking for that opening. They can try their best to gather as much intel as possible in this particular region of the circle. But we're about to see if that's going to yield something for them. Glock again pops a grenade. He might be looking for that opening onto Sammy. He might pop him over the head side again, but Shot 40 looking for that opening as well. Circling the block from the backside. Pops him a little bit over with the UMP, and that will be the end of the inimical. Absolutely fantastic stuff from Glock, but there's only so much he could do alone.
To be honest, not so much that he could do, really. CD Sports, once again, still alive. The players there from Vilence looking for their way into the circle, currently chilling on that eastern side. Undergang Esports playing this very slowly, as they should. However, if they want to pull off what they pulled off in the last Erangel game, where they just want to finish second place with 6 points, I fear that might not just be enough for them. Mirror shots looking to get started on that southwestern side with the players there from Raw Esports Mongolia, and it does look like Mongolia's Raw Esports would remain on top, taking them out. 8 eliminations already. CD Sports now finds one knock onto the VLANs there, and I promise you, if there is one team that you do not want to meet, given your form that you've started with today, it is the villains, because those guys, they take the fights, they take it irregardless. They take it like they have nothing to lose.
Still Esports, still hanging on. They have been able to accrue some placement points. Raw Esports Mongolia, we talk about how dangerous they could be. Scooby with the DBS will swing it from side to side and will connect the first couple of shots. Villain Esports on the receiving end of some chaos for the first time in a while now. Seal have finally started to find their footing, and here they go, sending the guys from Villains back into the lobby. 3 eliminations for them, and now they're starting to find what we've been looking for. Here is more of the same. Spray onto Sammy as well. Beautiful push. C4's now chasing on. Beautiful play coming in from the guys from Seal Esports. They're about to close this one out with a bang and possibly a chicken dinner. 4-man team. Surely they know that they might have done enough. An opportunity to seal inside again. A beautiful spray to follow through. And an angle there being covered up by Seal Esports, but I believe they've done just enough to keep the rest of these teams at bay from pushing out this position. Zibit trying to make it through. Boy can only arrive very late. His teammates have been sent back into the lobby, and I believe just a little while longer. Can they hold on?
What are you doing? To be honest, can they actually hold on? That is what we've got in mind. CD Sports now losing players one after the other. However, Scooby on the off angle, he's able to find that player who was responsible for the knock, and you start to ask the question, CD Sports, where was this form? Where was this CD Sports all day long? We have asked for 4 games and we did not get a reply. But that reply up onto Tonmore is enough to prevent that thirst for the time being. CD Sports are watching this one happen. The play zone is already starting to move. Undergang Esports are still alive. Raw Esports Mongolia is still alive. If Raw Esports Mongolia is able to get a couple more elimination points, it continues to threaten that spot that is currently being held by the players there from CD Sports. Right now, CD Sports getting him into the vehicle. That is the only strategy that is going to work so far, and they're hoping he support or he survives. Tonmoy Woodfall, and that is going to be Exhibit going out. We're down to the final 3 teams, and I think CD Sports at this point can say they've sealed it. They can say they've done it. On the gang, can they say the same? Still alive with 2 players, but no eliminations to speak of. As Roy Sports Mongolia starts to lay out the shots towards the players there from CD Sports.
Ooh, we've seen this play out before. Raw Esports Mongolia, they know exactly how to play the terrain. Miramar is their home base. Seafields has been spotted. Sprays from orbit towards the northern side, but again, he's trying to catch him off guard. And Ryuk will take that one into his hands. Probably use the grenades to keep them at bay and an opportunity to hold off, but they are a 2-man team, so they can only be stretched so thin. CD Sports have the numbers advantage. It's a 3 versus 2, and they're an interesting split. Ryuk with a grenade to send 2 down. And seeing Esports are in serious danger now. Kirito trying to escape, hops into the blue zone, will not give them the point. We exactly what he's trying to do. Spectre will be sent back into the lobby. Ignis is stolen that one away. Seal Esports trying their best to hold on just a longer. Their lead is threatened, but now he's deep in the blue. He will seal, and he will be losing that. Ryuk holds on. Ryuk has stealed it away. And now an opportunity for Undergang to steal this one away as well. Ryuk just pops out from outside of the end zone. Undergang trying to get that chicken dinner. Surely they will get that one. But Orbit has been knocked away. Another opportunity for Undergang to steal this one again. We've seen them play this time and time again. Igneous trying to play from the left hand. Ryuk has been spotted. Might have to play over the top. Spray is good. Tries to catch him off, and he does.
We cannot answer the question. We really cannot answer the question that Raw Esports Mongolia are asking themselves. Have we done enough? Did we make it? Did we make the cut? I want to say they've not. That push up onto the side there of CD Sports was absolutely wonderful. The proactivity from CD Sports to know that this team that wants to take us out, we cannot afford to give them more points. You know, denying them that point, absolutely wonderful as well. But Ryuk getting that chicken dinner and they are actually getting himself the MVP is wonderful to see. And I'm hearing we just want to see it. What has happened? What has happened? CD Sports makes it. Mongolia does not. Raw Esports Nepal, they did enough to not just qualify, but to win it all for the region. 144 points, and they've done it. Undergang Esports started their climb from yesterday. 142 points that they were able to get, and they've done second place. And CD Sports, just when we thought they'd lost it, just when we thought they'd thrown it all away, rise in the final game to secure their top 3 spots, taking them to the grand finals of the 8R Stars Cup Battle of Regions.
What a way to wrap things up. Seal Esports. Slowly but surely, Ajaya MVP. He made it happen. It was the final elimination that put him just over the top. It was that final elimination against the guys from Roy Esports Mongolia. That was enough to make it happen. Ajaya is MVP. He was not even in the running when we started the day. He was not even in. His photo was not even here when we kicked off the first map today. Ajaya's photo was not there. He came in after map 2 and he actually won MVP. Beautiful stuff coming in from Undergang. Absolutely brilliant stuff, Crowns. You cannot see action like this anywhere else. I really thought Seal Esports had let this one slip away, but Miramar was the game they were waiting for. They played it slowly. They didn't get dropped on. They didn't get into any unnecessary early engagements. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, and they did it just to perfection, and they got themselves that just the right amount of points. They didn't crack into the 140s, but it did just enough to get themselves that top 3, because that was the goal.
That really was the goal. They wouldn't be getting as much money as they will be getting, because I know the regional finals does present its own amount of money. But congratulations to the top three teams. Raw Esports Nepal taking it all home. Second place was Undergang Esports. They started off yesterday so strongly, 24 elimination chicken dinner, and that was how they started their climb. And now going into today, they were able to finish second place, and Sealy Sports hold their grounds onto third position. Roy Sports Mongolia lost it all in the last couple of games, and they couldn't hold it all. But ladies and gentlemen, it has been such a time and a half here in the 8 Hour Stars Cup Battle of Regions. The remaining three teams that were invited from this region, we will be finding it out in the finals. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you so much, Priest, for joining me today. I really appreciate your presence on here. To all the teams that didn't make it into the top three, the VODs are always there for you to watch back, see what mistakes you've made, work on them, and always, as I always say, come back stronger. But that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, 8R, for organizing this one. Thank you, MetaGoogle. Thank you to production team for getting this one done. And you know how to say it. Stay safe, stay connected. You know the vibes. Stay tuned. We'll be coming through with more 8R Stars action on another day. But I would see you real soon. My name is Crowns, and you enjoy the rest of your day.